Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very first ASTRO for the month of January. We're very happy to both be with you right now. Happy New Year to all of you. Happy Gregorian year, of course, because we're going to celebrate the real start of the new year in March with the astrology. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and of course, I'm here with my regular co-host, Meg Moonbeam. How are you, Meg? And how are you feeling with this Gregorian start of the year?
I'm really excited and really happy to be here with you, Julie, my beautiful soul star sister. It's always so much fun doing videos and being with you and working with you. So very excited to see you again after our holiday break.
Yeah.
And be with our family out there that I'm sure some of them are dying. I've been getting messages. I miss you and Julie's show. I miss the astrology course. So we're really happy to be here with you guys. And we're going to talk about, this is a really different kind of month, I think, astrologically. So
yes. Well said. Well said. Different, I think, is the right word to put it. And thank you so much, Meg. I'm very happy to be here with you as well. I'm sure people notice I have a change of scenery. I just moved in the holidays. So I took a little holiday break, and also I took the time to try to move my stuff. So I'm still not really 100% settled, but we will do this in the best way we can, of course. And yes, I feel like this year is going to be, well, this year and this month, because today we're going to be talking about the month of January, the most important alignments. And also in the second part of the show, we will be talking about more specific predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. So listen to the second part for your sun sign, your rising sign, and even you can listen for your moon sign. So it's going to be very fun. Thank you so much. Devs is saying congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lots of changes. Yes. Lots of changes. And of course, I think the most, let's say, important alignment that we're going to be talking about in just a few minutes is this Pluto going back in a sign of Aquarius for most of this year of 2024. And at the same time as Pluto goes back, we have a conjunction with the sun. So the sun bringing its light onto Pluto. So I think it's going to, let's say, reveal a lot of stuff. And I think it's going to reveal a lot of changes also for most of us. And of course, we're going to look at what it means for you, for your sign, when we get to the 12 zodiac signs. All right, so we are simulcasting on a few platforms today. So on Maison Jupiter YouTube channel, Beyond Mystics YouTube channel, on Twitter, and also on Rumble. So wherever you are watching this, please give us a like, please share, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us into creating more content like this one. Yes, very excited as well. And we have a candle for one of you lucky supporters today from the beautiful Elena. I'm just going to bring that to the screen. Yes, I am ready for Pluto. I don't know how ready I am, to be honest with you, Cream J, but yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. And at the same time, it's squaring my natal Pluto when it goes back into Aquarius. So it's going to be interesting. So yes, the Element collection from Elena is officially sold out. So today we will be giving away one magic candle. So I really love this scent. I think it's perfect for winter. It's peppermint, vanilla, and clove. Very, very adorable scent. I really love this one. So the magic candle, it's infused with clear quartz, and it's a really beautiful candle. So we're going to be giving this one away to one of you lucky supporters towards the end of the show. And before also going into the important dates, I wanting to also say that this is going to be a general reading for the 12 zodiac signs. And if you'd like to get more personalized predictions for your own birth chart, because we all have unique birth charts, so the transits are going to affect you a little bit differently. You can also book a one-on-one appointment with the wonderful, the beautiful Meg Moonbeam over here on MaisonJupiter.com. And of course, if you use Beyond Mystic as a coupon code, you are going to get 10% off your next next reading. And there are 2 different readings to choose from. The first one is the birth chart astrology reading. So Meg is going to focus on your natal chart, explaining what it means for you, how you can, let's say, unlock all of the gifts present in your birth chart. And the other one will be the 1-year personal forecast. So she's going to look at the year ahead with the transits affecting your chart. Meg, let me know, where are you right now in your bookings? Where are we in 2024 right now?
I think the earliest availability at the moment is the beginning of March. So in March, and I'm going to try to add some more dates today for March, which is really, like you were saying early, Julia, like you were saying early, Julia. Julie and I are really feeling this Mercury direct still, because we have exact placements in our chart that are at Sagittarius 22 degrees, which is what Mercury was at when it went direct on the 1st. So please excuse me, excuse us if we're like speaking really weird. What was I going to say there? Oh yeah, that's our natural new year, is March, right? The spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So that's a great time to get a reading. Really, any time we can look at your year ahead or your birth chart. So yeah.
Yeah, the good point. Like, I think your birthday is one really good point to look at the year ahead with your birth chart. The beginning of the Gregorian year, so January, and also March, which is the start of the real natural new year. So I think a really great point here. Cream J is saying Meg is the best. Yes, I do agree. Thank you, Meg. All right, so now let's talk about the important dates before we're going to talk about 3 specific key dates for today. So January 2024, we are right now in Capricorn season, and towards well, on January 20th, I wrote that date right here, we're going to be moving into Aquarius season. First of all, let me know, Meg, what you think about this energy while the sun is transiting the Capricorn season. How are we feeling? How are you feeling throughout this season usually?
Well, I kind of like Capricorn season because I have my moon in Capricorn, even though it's winter for us in the northern hemisphere. But it's a little bit confusing because even though it's the Gregorian New Year, so it's not necessarily the natural New Year, we've got some alignments that are kind of like really good for, I think, new beginnings and starting new things, and kind of a little bit like a New Year energy, which I know can sound a little bit confusing, but we just had Mercury go direct on January 1st. We had Jupiter go direct. I think it was December 30th or 31st. And we've got a lot of things moving forward now astrologically. Mars exalted in Capricorn with the sun in Capricorn, all planets direct except for Uranus. So even though it's not the natural new year, I think it's a great time to be really putting ourselves out there in whatever ways resonate with us, whether that's new projects or with our goals or new habits or routines we want to do. So I'm really liking the energy of the beginning of January. I feel like it's going to get a little more wonky, I'm going to be honest, when we get to the middle, the end. Does that resonate, Julie? What do you think?
It does. I think we're going to be feeling this Pluto energy very much when we get to January 20th and maybe near those days. Yeah, it does make sense. And usually I talk a lot about the January 1st not being a real time to start new things in the astrology, but I feel like this year is a bit different because we have, as you said, Mercury moving direct on January 1st. So I think it's a good start, let's say, to launch new things. And what did I want to say here? And also the fact that you mentioned that basically all planets except for Uranus are moving direct. So I think this year is a bit different. This year is a good time to start new things and make changes, and especially with that Pluto also. So really interesting year, I think, we have in 2024. Okay, so on January 11th, yes, we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn at 20 degrees. We're going to be talking about this one. Very positive overall. It's making only beautiful aspects. But I think it's going to be both. In fact, both the new moon and the full moon, I think, are going to be decision-making lunation. So I think very important events might happen in our lives throughout the month of January, but I do feel like this one is very positive, so I can't wait to talk about it in details. January 20th, Sun and Pluto are going to conjunct, so be at the exact same degree at 0 degree Aquarius. So that's a really big deal, really, really big deal. And at the same time, so Mercury turned direct on the 1st of January, but on the 20th, it's going to be officially out of retrograde post-shadow. So you know how there's a pre-shadow before the retrograde, before Mercury turns retrograde, and there's a post-shadow. So meaning that it's not necessarily on January 1st that everything starts moving forward and then we're clear with our ideas, we can express ourselves clearly. Usually there's a little delay because things are still a bit wonky throughout the post-shadow. And as you said, Meg, I'm feeling this one really strongly since Mercury is now stationing to go, well, stationing still, it is direct, but it's still stationing at the same degree, which is 22 degrees. I have my moon there. You have your north node there. So we're kind of like, feeling still this post-shadow. So on January 20th, Mercury is definitely out of retrograde post-shadow, meaning that we have more clarity, news maybe are coming out, maybe we're going to have information being revealed, secrets being revealed. So I think this date is definitely a good one to circle in your calendar with both, of course, the new moon and the full moon. And then on January 25th, we're going to have this full moon in Leo, very intense full moon. Although it's in the sign of Leo, I feel like it's a very scorpionic energy. And let's talk about it in a few minutes. And then January 27, we're going to have Uranus direct. And I believe at this point, we're going to have all planets moving direct, if I'm not mistaken. All right. We have a lot of beautiful comments. Thank you so much, everybody. Meg, did you want to add anything before we move into the new moon?
I feel like this is really unexpected energy. Having, Pluto going into Aquarius, Sun, Pluto Cazimi conjunction. This is a lot of intensity. This is a lot of unexpected energy as well when the Sun moves into Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. So I'm just hearing Spirit say, like, expect the unexpected. And if things move in a different direction or if completely new opportunities come forward, you guys be open to that, because that is Aquarius. And we're going to be feeling that really strong more when we get to the middle end of the month. It's just going to be unexpected. And I know that sounds vague, but just be open to different things. I feel like that's one of the things with Pluto moving into Aquarius for all of us. Is teaching us is being open to new ways of doing things, because we've been in Pluto and Capricorn since 2008, which is all about structures and rules and, the dark arts people, if you will, really being able to have a control over us. And sometimes we can't see some of the alternative ways clearly of living, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I think more and more of that's going to be revealed this month and coming into the Gregorian year of 2024. So yeah, big life changes too with that Pluto Cazimi. That can be really big life changes for people. So I think it's important for people to look at where they have 29 degrees of Capricorn and 0 degrees of Aquarius in their chart, because that's where that Cazimi is going to be. So yeah.
And we're going to be diving into that in the second part. But yes, great point, Meg. I think it's really important to locate in your birth chart where it is. We're going to go sign by sign using the whole sign system, of course. So we're going to tell you a little bit, depending on your rising sign, where it's going to fall. But it's a really important area to focus because Pluto will be transiting there for the next 20 years. Yeah. But of course, we're going to feel it more when it transits at the beginning of this year and next year. Lakeside Laura is saying, just had an amazing reading with Meg this morning. Thank you. Wow, that's amazing. That's a great start of your January. Love that. Thank you so much, Lakeside Laura. Yeah, I think people that had the chance to have bookings with you for this Gregorian New Year, I think booked a while ago. So if you'd like to get, let's say, the equinox, the spring equinox, let's say New Year reading, it's time to book now. And Eric Gabriel is saying solar flares equals rapid evolution and zero sleep. Yeah, I think it has, personally, I think it has to do with that Pluto ingress into Aquarius that we're sort of already feeling, even though it's not at 0 degrees yet. I think we're feeling this really rapid evolution, which translates in our 3D world into a lot of changes in our external reality. So I'm feeling that we're being upgraded big time, our frequency's changing, and it translates as our lives changing, right?
Yeah.
So I think you said it really well. Expect the unexpected. This is the energy of Aquarius. This is the energy of Uranus. And Pluto's the big bulldozer. Aquarius is the wild card in the zodiac. So both together, it's like, I think you said it perfectly. Expect the unexpected. All right. Thank you. I'm reading the comments at the same time. Thank you, Janice. She's saying, Julie, you look amazingly well rested in spite of all the work involved in moving to your new digs. Good to see you back. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That was quite a ride, I have to say. I moved during Mercury retrograde, which was probably not the best thing to do, but you know, sometimes the universe throws curveballs at you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to rest now that I'm kind of settling in my new place. All right. So
sorry to interrupt you, Julie. Can I just say that there's now a feature on StreamYard, how we broadcast these videos, for the people on Twitter, X, to comment, and we can show those comments.
So cool.
Yeah. So if you're watching from X, Twitter, I'm calling it both, you can comment and we can see your comments. So that's great.
That's a really good point. Thank you, Meg. Eric saying, Julie, you are braver than you look for moving during Mercury. This wasn't my A choice, I have to say, but you know, we always say as astrologers, don't do this and that during Mercury retrograde. But I feel like sometimes when the universe decides that it's the timing to do it, it always ends up happening, whether you like it or not. All right. So yes, Livy's saying, I enjoyed the Pigs videos of Julie and Elena's adventures. Yes, we did travel right before I moved. So that was kind of a really weird timing. But my sister said before the holiday, she said, you really need that trip because you need to recharge your batteries before starting this new year, which I think is going to be fabulous, but also very intense. So yes, thank you so much, Livy. Okay, let's talk about this Capricorn new moon. I'm just going to adjust my screen over here so you can see it. All right. So first of all, let me show you the birth chart for this new moon in Capricorn. So this is going to be January 11th. So in a few days from now. So whenever we have the sun and the moon together at the same degree, it is a new moon. So this is going to happen in the sign of Capricorn. And as you can see, it's kind of close to, but I don't know if we can really call it a conjunction because it's 9 degrees away, but still in Vedic astrology, they would call it a conjunction because it's in the same sign. So Pluto is right now at 29 degrees at the very end of Capricorn. So kind of close to this new moon. And at the same time, we have Mars that just entered Capricorn, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So it's a really good time, I think, to start new things. We're going to feel very energized, very driven. Capricorn is also the hustler signs. Capricorn and people with strong Capricorn like to pursue goals. They are very driven. They have a lot of stamina. So I think this is going to be very fun. And this new moon is only making good aspects. So a sextile to Neptune in Pisces, a trine to Uranus over here. And I wanted to show you this birth chart because this new moon, I think, is special since it is T-squaring both of the nodes. So you can see the north node is at 20 degree Aries, the south node is at 20 degree Libra, and this one is making, it's like midway in between. So it's making what we call a T-square, so a focal point. So usually when we have T-square, it's a decision point. It means we're at a crossroad. We're about to start something new, but we have to make important decisions. So let's go back to the slide. Overall, I think it's going to be a very positive new moon with possible important decision-making portal. I feel like for most people, Capricorn usually has to do with work, with career. It can be something else, of course, but usually these are the themes that come up during Capricorn season. So for some, it's going to be a new professional cycle that begins. We're going to feel ambitious, career-driven, oriented. Mars is also exalted, bringing hard work, passion towards our goals, our priorities. So it's a really good time to also plan for the future. Capricorn also talks about the future. It talks about long-term planning, really figuring out your goals, your priorities, and those goals and priorities might change because it's a new moon. And we have also Pluto really near. So let's not forget about that. And Pluto also talks about power struggles with authorities, power issues. And on, let's say, the bright side, it can talk about empowering yourself and freeing yourself from constraints. So that's why I think January will be very interesting, because both the new moon and the full moon are going to link up with Pluto, the planet of power and empowerment. So I said that it's squaring the nodes, so choice point, a new direction, important decisions to make regarding Capricornian themes. So career, work, authorities, father figure, boss, long-term planning. These are all Capricornian themes. Also, it can bring up a lot of karmic events and changes in our lives. Time to make important adjustments and course correct for the future. So I think this one is very important. Balancing also professional life with our personal desires and our relationships, since the nodes are in the relationship axis. So a very interesting new moon. I feel like this one is almost eclipse-like in its nature. I'm going to ask you, Meg, in just a few seconds to comment on that if you resonate with that. I'm curious to know what you think. But also this new moon sextiles Neptune. Neptune is a planet when it's really, let's say, well aspected. It talks about forgiveness, love to support our plans, and trines Uranus. So it's a really positive aspect also to Uranus. So changes are supported at this time, and independence is supported also. And going on your own path and following your own dreams is also very much supported. And Saturn, which is the ruler of this new moon, sextiles Jupiter. So very positive time for long-term projects and endeavors. Meg, what do you think? What's your feeling about this new moon? Did I say everything?
Yeah, well, you said it very well. And I feel like I'm so happy about this new moon. It's always, I never know when, and I'm sure you feel the same, Julie, when we're making notes and we're looking at new moons or full moons or what's coming, it's like, okay, what is this going to be like? You know, and this new moon doesn't have any really adverse aspects. So that's really nice. It's actually got really beautiful aspects. And even though the moon is at detriment position in Capricorn, the moon doesn't really love to be in Capricorn. It's powerful because we've got Mars exalted in Capricorn, really good aspects. I feel like Spirit was saying when I was preparing for the show, with this new moon, like we're being asked to reflect on what are we committed to and what do we commit to? What's our commitment, right? Because that's Capricorn. Capricorn is not just work and career, it's our commitments. It's things that are long lasting. So with this being a new moon, excuse me, you guys, that's really well aspected and I really like it. This is a very powerful time to create not just intentions for the year, not just intentions for, you know, the next few weeks or months, long-term goals. Like what are your long-term commitments? What are your commitments to yourself? And that's such a good point, what you brought up with the nodes, Julie. I didn't even think about that with that T-square with the nodes. It's like, what's our commitment to ourself, Aries? And what are we committing to with others? And is that even resonating anymore? And what's our commitment to the world? So I think that's something really good to reflect on with this. And also work-wise, there can be really positive opportunities, developments, work-wise. We're going to get into all the signs because it is Capricorn, but definitely set some intentions with that new moon because that's a really magical one for sure.
Yeah, good point, Meg. And this is why I kind of felt like January this year is different, since I think it's good to manifest long-term planning as we're being told by the Matrix to do on January 1st. I think this year is actually the year to do so, and especially during this new moon, which falls on 11/1, so 111. Love it. And Debs is saying, when's best this month to launch new business, please, Julie and Meg? 11th? Question mark. What do you think, Meg? I'm kind of thinking intuitively, like this new moon is kind of a really good portal of energy, because Capricorn has to do with career, work. Mars in Capricorn is really good to start new things. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance yet to look at every lunation in 2024 yet, but from what I'm seeing so far, this is a fantastic new moon, Deb's Soul Tribe. And we're also in a phase right now, from now until April 1st, none of the inner planets are going to be retrograde. So we've got Uranus is retrograde right now until January 27th. So actually from January 27th to April 1st, no retrograde. So I'm always looking at what are the planets moving direct or retrograde when wanting to launch a new business, and what's the overall vibe. So, and we're at Pluto and Capricorn still, which Capricorn rules business, and at a critical degree, 29 degrees. So I would say, yes, the new moon is perfect, I think.
For this month, for sure. I think this is definitely the new moon in January. I think totally on point, Meg. Thank you for that. All right, so now we're going to switch to our next event, which is going to be the event, probably one of the biggest of the year. And that's going to be Pluto in Aquarius. So I just bringing this birth chart, not to confuse you guys, but I just want to show you how interesting it is to have Pluto at 0 degree, 0 minute of Aquarius. And at the same time, we're going to have the sun there at 0 degree Aquarius. So Pluto Cazimi, Pluto will be in the heart of the sun. The sun is going to illuminate all things Pluto. And at the same time, we're starting a whole new era and pushing even forward this whole age of Aquarius. Meg, I want to ask you, well, how do you feel about that? Do you think January 20th is going to be an important key date, or do you think it's going to unfold a bit later during the year? And other question, what do you think is going to happen more on January 20th on a more, let's say, personal level?
Well, yeah, that's such a good couple questions. So first of all, you know, the outer planets, the more outer generational planets, we feel them the most when they're at the beginning, middle, or end of their transit through their signs. So I really feel like January until, you know, September, when Pluto moves back into Capricorn, that's the critical degree, 0, 1, 2. So we're going to be really feeling the Pluto in Aquarius and what that means. 2024, when Pluto is in Aquarius, 2025, even into 2026, really, really strong. So this can be, you know, really rapid development of us into the future. Aquarius rules the future. And Pluto is the revealer, right? The transformation and revealing. So Pluto reveals the qualities of whatever sign he's in, and Aquarius rules humanity and the collective of humanity. So I think this is why whenever we have Pluto in Aquarius, there's such huge events in history. You know, the last time we had Pluto in Aquarius was the American Revolution, the French Revolution. America became a country. Every time it's historical events. So I think it's going to be really unprecedented, and people, even more people wanting freedom and independence personally and in the collective, right? So there's so many things to the Pluto in Aquarius, but I think, as you said, you were asking on the personal level, we're going to be feeling really inspired to be in our independence and our sovereignty. And anything that isn't in alignment with that, this is just one of the things, but I'm just feeling that in this moment really strong to share. That's one of the things we're going to be really aware of, is relationships, jobs, social ways of being. Are they really for freedom? Do they really, are they in alignment for the great brotherhood, sisterhood of humanity, or is it not, right? And with that Cazimi happening at 29 degrees Pluto in Capricorn and 0 degrees Aquarius, that is a huge revealing of something when we have that Cazimi. So I feel like that could have to do with, even more about a certain list of people that has just come up in the last week. But we're dealing with Aquarius, and we're dealing with something totally unexpected coming forward.
For sure. Really well said, Meg. Okay, let me bring up the chart that I did a while ago for possible themes in the world coming up. But I love the fact that you said what it can bring up in our personal lives about empowerment, independence, being in our own freedom, sovereignty. I really resonate with that for sure.
Mhm.
And I think this, as we're experiencing it personally, we will also experience it in a collective way, which also Aquarius rules the collective. So those are some possible themes that I wrote. And of course, these are not going to happen on January 21st. I think some stuff might happen on January 21st while we have the GEMINI, but keep in mind that Pluto will stay in Aquarius for until 2044, so in 20 years. And you said it right. I wrote that in the first point, rebirth of the true sense of freedom. And also we could see self-organizing collective and also new ways of doing business, new ways of creating businesses, corporations. Maybe they're not going to even be called corporations, but I feel like there's going to be a new way to interact together with the financial system, with our energy, with our relationships. Aquarius rules any kind of system without a center. So we'll be able, I feel, to rebuild those systems and those relationships in order to transact peer-to-peer and to have, let's say, a fair way to exchange our energy. This is what I'm hoping for sure. So second point, I wrote revolutions and big societal rebellions. Last time was the French Revolution. Also, Aquarius deals with cryptos. So it could be, and especially while the sun is conjuncting Pluto, exposing cryptocurrencies that are linked to corruption. And I believe that a lot of cryptos are going to be reset. There also might be a big, let's say, transfer to the fiat system onto cryptocurrencies. I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis onto cryptocurrencies for sure. Also, because this is what I forgot to say here, Pluto, whenever it starts the transit in one sign, which is Aquarius, it will transform the whole archetype of Aquarius. But at the beginning, it reveals any corruption linked to Aquarian themes. So it will reveal a lot of stuff that we believe was true regarding anything that is Aquarius. So new technologies, cryptocurrencies, ETs, freedom, any kind of things that are ruled by Aquarius. But before being able to transform a theme, we will have to reveal what's been non-functioning, what's been the lies that have been perpetuated to us. So revealing the transhumanism agenda, revealing the corruption in ET groups and agendas, and leading the way for potential true ET disclosure. Also, I believe a lot of technologies are going to unfold, maybe technologies, patents coming out, free energy, all that stuff. It's really Aquarian in nature. So I don't know how fast it's going to happen, but for sure during the Pluto in Aquarius transit. Also, Aquarius rules astrology. So I believe a lot more people will be interested into astrology. It already started. Also, Aquarius is linked to new technologies, but also the big tech industry. So I feel like they're going to be exposed even more for the corruption and all the data mining that they've been doing. And on a spiritual level, I believe we're going to experience a huge shift, a huge jump in consciousness. DNA is ruled by Pluto. Our energy upgrades are ruled by Aquarius. So I believe we're all being very much upgraded right now as we're talking, and leading also the way to using even more energy to heal, revealing new healing modalities and living longer. So these are some of the themes that I wrote there. I know we should maybe do a whole episode on this one because I think it's such an interesting subject. Okay, but now we're trying to focus more on, let's say, the personal level with this Astro Woo for the month of January. So let me switch to the last event we wanted to talk to you about before we dive into the 12 zodiac signs. And this one is the Leo full moon that we're going to have at the end of the month of January. That's going to be January 25th. So, okay, we just had a beautiful new moon on January 11th, starting new things. This one is quite different. So we have, every time we have the moon opposing the sun, this is going to be a full moon. So this one is going to be at 5° Leo. And of course, you can locate where 5° Leo falls in your own birth chart, but we're going to get to the 12 zodiac signs just a bit later on. So the moon is opposing the sun. The sun just entered Aquarius a few days ago while Sun and Pluto were making a conjunction on the 20th. Now it's at 5°, but still the sun is very close to Pluto. And the moon is going to oppose Sun and Pluto, which kind of calls for intensity and power struggles and wanting to remain authentic, independent in our own integrity, which can be also Leo. Before I dive into it too much, I want to ask you, Meg, what is your feeling about this full moon in Leo? How do you feel about this one?
Well, ever since I've looked at the chart for this, I feel, and this may sound really weird, I feel like a circus energy. I'm hearing, like, the circus song, dun, 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 dun. Like, it feels like this full moon is going to be a circus. It feels like it's going to be all over the place. I feel like it's interesting that it's in Leo at a Leo degree, opposite Pluto, and with the Sun-Pluto conjunction. I feel like the entertainment industry and entertainers and artists is going to be super highlighted. Something can really be illuminated from that, having to do with the dark side of life, because we got that Pluto opposition. People, like famous people, being exposed. That can be more of a collective thing. But for each of us personally, I think it's a huge cleansing full moon of toxicity in our lives, because we've got Pluto involved so strongly. And Leo is the light and the sun, right? So it's like, how can we be more in our light and our love? What's toxic in our life? That full moon's going to reveal.
Whew, okay. I'm kind of scared about this one, but just kidding, not scared. Just, I don't know. It's like we have to expect everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wrote, which kind of makes sense with what you were saying, a very intense full moon testing our integrity. And why I said that, it's because it's also making a T-square. Well, I don't have the right chart here, this one. So as you can see, there's a sun-moon alignment, and Jupiter is right in the middle of that new moon. So it's making a T-square to Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about, what are you believing in? What is your truth? What are your values, especially in Taurus? What are your core values? What do you believe in? So I feel like we might be tested, and we might have to really remain true to our own truth and integrity, and not follow anybody, and not, let's say, crumble under pressure. Because Pluto being in opposition to that moon, I feel like it's going to be emotionally very intense, has the potential to. Let's hope it's not going to be. And Leo is all about your own, let's say, how do you want to shine personally, what you want to do on your own. So it really targets the individual nature of yourself, versus Aquarius, which the sun is in, and that highlights the group dynamic. So I feel like there's going to be a tug of war between what do you want and where do you want to be and how do you want to shine? How do you want to express yourself as an individual versus what the group wants for you? So there's going to probably be some kind of opposition there. There could be, as we said, power struggles. Also on the collective scale, we could see the end of some collective control strategies. Let's hope so, because it's a full moon, so it brings closure to something. Or it could also mean more control strategies from powers that be that could erupt at this time. I don't think it's going to be long lasting, but just wanted to share that just in case. On the bright side, this full moon, I think, is a portal for a lot more personal empowerment through Leo themes. So creativity, romance, love, joy, self-expression, taking vacation, taking some time off with the people you love, enjoying life in general. So I think all Leo activities and themes are going to be super important at this time, because we have to remain in the highest frequency possible in our own creativity, in our own empowerment, in our own light, even though things around us might be changing, moving in a drastic way, because Pluto is so involved within the month of January. So I wrote there, needing to be in the love, joy frequency more than ever. So that's what Leo's medicine is all about. It's staying in that love, joy frequency. It's the power of Leo. Also, we could be discovering hidden truths, destabilizing truths, because of that Pluto and Jupiter being so much emphasized. Both planets are about truth, about revealing stuff. And like I said, it's going to T-square Jupiter. So needing to be aware of your values, your purpose, your own guidance to make decisions. So I think this is like, if you need to remember one thing, it's probably this one. Really remain in your own truth, meditate for your own guidance, meditate with your higher self anytime you have to make important decisions. And since both the new moon and the full moon are T-squaring planets, it means choices, and mean being at a crossroad in some kind of way in our lives. So I think following your own truth, your own values, your guidance is going to be super important at this time, and staying, of course, in your personal truth. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be tested whether or not they're going to, let's say, crumble under some pressure or follow their own truth and their own guidance. Wow. Okay. So that's it for the first part of the show. We covered the new moon, Sun-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius, and the full moon. And right before we start with the 12 zodiac sign, I just wanted to share with you guys that we also have longer video prediction. Hi, Coco. Nice to see you. We made those 12 zodiac sign videos for 2024 predictions. So these are not only January, but the whole year. We looked at for each of the 12 zodiac signs. So if you'd like to get more, let's say, in-depth predictions, and we, of course, cover also Pluto and Aquarius in those videos, go check that out. It's on beyondmystic.net. We are very proud of those videos. We got really great comments. We put a lot of time, love, and energy into those. So if you'd like to get longer predictions for the year ahead, go check that out, beyondmystic.net. It's available on pay-per-view. It's only $3.99. And also it's available for, of course, the IAP members. Meg, anything I forgot before we start the 12 zodiac signs?
I don't think so.
All right. All right. So let me change gears here. I will put up here the little icon for, okay. So I need to change also the slide because we will be using the chart. Give me a few seconds. All right. So let's start with Aries, Meg, and let me know what you'd like me to put on screen for Aries.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we're going to do our 12 sign predictions for January, and you guys can listen to your sun and rising sign most importantly, and then you can also listen to your moon for more personal psychological interpretations. So yeah, we'll start with Aries. So for Aries, sun, moon, rising, maybe we can bring up the chart for the new moon.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, awesome. So first of all, Aries, we've got the North Node in Aries and Chiron in Aries, as we've been having for a while now, but they're starting to make their strong conjunction this month, okay? So we got the North Node and Chiron are now within 5 degrees of being exactly conjunct. So in Western astrology, we consider this a pretty strong conjunction. So Aries, this is the biggest deal for you guys. It's a big deal for the whole collective, but this is happening in your sign. So Chiron is the wounded healer. And the North Node is our purpose and our collective destiny. So Aries, you can be having very big healing breakthroughs this month with the North Node conjunct Chiron, and actually over the next couple months, January, February, March, with this strong conjunction that we're going to have exact. Next month, Julie and I will get into that. But just keep in mind, there's a theme, Aries, really big theme of healing for you guys. And that's going to be different from Aries to Aries. Like, some of you may be thinking, what the heck are you saying, Meg? Healing, what does that mean? For everyone, it could be different. There could be, you know, with your family or your relationships or your job, and everybody's personal astrology is a little bit differently, but there's very big personal soul growth, healing growth as an opportunity right now for Aries. So any Aries, I would suggest having some kind of practice or routine of self-love, self-work, or having, you know, going to a therapist, a spiritual psychotherapist, energy healer, monthly circle, something where you are in a healing frequency and you're working on yourself. I cannot stress that enough for Aries right now. Anything you want to say on that, Julie? Did I explain that well enough for the Aries?
I think it's perfect. I think you're right on the money. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Aries, very important for you guys to be honest with yourselves about any issues going on in your life or anything that maybe you don't know how to work on. Ask your friends, ask your family for help, and they'll give you resources. So let's move to the new moon in Capricorn on January 11th is happening in your 10th house, the house of Capricorn. So new moons are new beginnings and opportunities. This is happening in the areas of the life of your work, career, and long-term goals. And your planetary ruler Mars is currently exalted in the sign of Capricorn. So Mars is like, yay, in his second most favorite place to be. And Mars is in an exact trine at the time of this new moon to Jupiter. So this is very lucky. This is one of the most positive aspects. Very positive and lucky new moon for you, Aries. So you guys are going through healing breakthroughs. And then with this new moon, around this new moon, January 11th, very positive developments, opportunities having to do with work. For any Aries, if you're wanting to start a new work project or create new long-term goals, this is literally, I think, the perfect time. So set your intentions and take action as well, because Mars is all about taking action and your sign rules taking action. The full moon in Leo on January 25th is happening in your 5th house, which is the house of Leo. So full moons are about release, letting go, completion, and illumination. And this happening in your 5th house has to do with creative projects, your creativity, your inner child, children in your life, your relationship to fun, and you being seen. So those are areas where you may be going through letting go or things can be illuminated. And your planetary ruler Mars is in a square to Chiron in Aries. So for all of us, this full moon is very, very intense, but with a square to Chiron, is it exact, Julie? I'm trying to see the degrees. Chiron's at 15.
Well, this is not the right chart because I did not switch it, but yeah, you're totally right. Mars is at 15 degrees and Chiron at 15 degrees.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was having a brain fart there. So yeah, thank you, Julie. It's exact pretty much. So this is a very big healing portal, this full moon for you Aries. I would suggest, I'm just kind of getting the download right now. Go to a like-minded community healing event around this full moon. Go to a drumming circle or a sound bath. Go to something where there's healing frequencies and you're around like-minded people, because I feel like very big things can come up for you to release. We've also got your ruler Mars is conjunct Mercury and trine Uranus. So you can have very new and fresh creative ideas, and inspiration can be illuminated for you at this new moon. And the beautiful Venus trine Jupiter, which I feel like is a little bit of a saving grace at the time of this full moon, is happening in your 10th house and your 2nd house. So this is very positive for finances, income, and work as well. So happy January to all the Aries out there.
Wow, I love that. Thank you, Meg. Okay, and yes, usually we pull cards. I kind of forgot to pull at the beginning of the show. Sorry, guys. Okay, so card pull for our friend the Aries for the month of January. Let's see what the cards want us to know. Okay, this one. Okay. Okay. So I have, first of all, for the Aries, the card of the ninth house, which talk about exploration. So it's all about getting out of your comfort zone, traveling, exploring, doing things in a new way. And the second card that I have is destabilize, discomfort. So I think both kind of go well together because I feel like Aries, you're going to be tasked to explore something new, get out of your comfort zone. And I feel like at first it might feel like very uncomfortable because we have the destabilized card. But I feel like throughout January, you are building new foundations. So you're building something new and it requires you to get outside your comfort zone. And then I'm going to pull another one for Aries as a guidance message. Okay, love that. And I have that Dance with Life card. This is my favorite of the whole deck. It says, do something to change your energy. So I think it emphasizes the need, and especially I'm thinking about the full moon in Leo for Aries, but throughout the whole month of January, to really do something to go outside what you usually do on a day-to-day basis, because you're going to have to remain high within your frequency. So I think do something that's Leo-like, dance, sing, do something that brings fun to you, that really connects with your inner child, play, go out, do something that really is going to change your energy, because I think it's going to be really important that your frequency remains at the highest possible throughout January. So I don't know if that makes sense, but this is what I have for Aries.
Makes total sense. And Lakeside Laura says, bingo.
Bingo. Okay, that's a good confirmation. Thank you so much, Lakeside Laura. All right, so now we will talk about the Taurus, and I'm just going to share it here while we're going to talk about the first one, which is going to be the new moon in Capricorn for the Taurus. So I just put Taurus here on the horizon, on the rising, and that's going to be for January 11th. So let's look at this new moon for you, Taurus. So of course, Jupiter is still in your sign for a while. So I feel like a lot of Taurus are going to be very blessed throughout the first part of the year, still with that Jupiter. So a lot of abundance opportunities. But let's look at this new moon more precisely. So it's going to be in your ninth house. And the ninth house is a really beautiful place to have a new moon. The ninth house is a very protected sector. It's very blessed. So it means anything you start around this January 11th new moon in the sign of Capricorn have the potential to really expand, to really gain a lot of momentum. So I feel like this is going to be very positive for everybody, but especially for Tauruses. So really good time to do some manifestation work, to let's say do a crystal grid, do something maybe physical because it's in the sign of Capricorn, maybe write down what you want to manifest, but it has the potential to really go big. So for Capricorns, I'm feeling maybe new travel plans. So let's say the doors for the international world opens up to you. So if you'd like to maybe start working with people across the world, this is a possibility. You can have also a lot of different opportunities coming across the globe coming to you at the time of this new moon. So I said new travel plans. If you have plans to relocate, it's also a really good time to think about the long-term planning. We said at the beginning, Capricorn is also future. It's also long-term planning. Also, the ninth house is access to higher learning, and you'll have access to like another level of your own frequency. So it's an opportunity, it's a portal to really upgrade in all levels of life. So really beautiful new moon. I believe also you'll be able to see things with more clarity and more perspective. The ninth house brings a lot of guidance from your higher self, from your guides. It's a good time to plan for the future. Also, you might be being guided to specific places around the world at the time of this new moon. So if you follow your guidance, I think it could be very positive, especially with that Mars that pushes us into action. I believe also important information can appear about your physical and spiritual health and balance, because it is making a T-square to the nodes, which are in your 12th and 6th house. So that's like the spiritual, mental health versus physical health. So I believe you're going to get a lot of nudges and downloads of things you could do better to really rebalance yourself even more. And I believe that you will be guided also to make certain decisions and go on a new path that might lead you to change your day-to-day routine, which is also the 6th house. So a lot of newness, I believe, for Tauruses. And then we're going to talk about the full moon, and I'm just going to share it because I think it's going to help you understand. So here, and I'm going to change the sign, Taurus. So January 25th for Tauruses, we'll have this new full moon, in the sign of Leo. And for you, it's going to fall in your 4th house. And as we said before, this one is very intense. I believe we're going to feel tested in our own integrity, especially for you, Tauruses, because it falls in your 4th house with your core values, what you believe in, your pillar of strength, your foundations. It could also be something that is ending regarding home, regarding family. If you have properties, it could be the case also. So something along those lines is ending around this full moon. It could be the end of a particular experience with your family, with your home. It could be the end of a certain location that you're living in. Also, for a lot of Tauruses, I'm feeling that you're going to feel the need to recharge at home with your loved ones, because there could be a lot of intensity surrounding you. So I'm going to say surrounding everybody, but especially since it falls in angular houses. So I feel like Tauruses are going to feel this one very much. Your personal integrity could be tested because it's making a T-square to Jupiter, which is in your sign right now, in your 1st house. So I feel like a lot of Tauruses will have to affirm their truth around this full moon and have to remain really centered and grounded into what you believe in, what is your direction in life, because it's making an opposition with your 10th house and your 4th house. So this is kind of your spinal cord, what you believe in, where you're reaching in your future. So those things can be tested. You will have to really remain true to your long-term goals, to what you believe in, Jupiter, your sense of purpose. There are possible power struggles at work or with a boss with that Pluto Sun opposition in your 10th house with an authority figure possibly, or it could also be the father figure. So you might feel tested, or just with, let's say, the institutions, the governments. So there's possible power struggles over here, and especially for Tauruses. You will have to listen to your own guidance and affirm your own truth. And also, as of January 20th, Pluto is entering your 10th house. So it is a big deal for Tauruses. Bringing a lot of changes into your career, life mission, not necessarily, let's say, changing career. It could be, but it can also be like finding a new sense of purpose, changing the way you want to be seen, changing the way you feel like you are empowered in your career, in your life mission, in your public role. So these are the things that will be put into motion as of January 20th for Tauruses. So this is what I have for Tauruses. Meg, do you want to share some stuff or pull some cards maybe?
Well, that's so crazy because, can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That's so crazy because I'm a Taurus rising, and that all completely resonated, like 10 out of 10. 100%.
Okay, happy to hear.
That is so crazy. It's so crazy when such specific things the astrology shows that are like not normal everyday things. So cool. So, okay, my fellow Taurus Sun Moon risings, let's see what's our card for this month. Wow. 10th house.
Oh, the house of Capricorn.
And as you just said, Pluto entering Aquarius enters our 10th house. And the key word in the ASTRO what's this called? Star Codes Astro deck is authority. So it's like our inner authority and empowerment and leadership. So Taurus, as I'm hearing Spirit say, what do you really want to do? And how can you be more like a leader or in your leadership in your life? And Pluto in the 10th house too, like I think you were maybe saying, Julie, can be power struggles, can also be like us realizing maybe where we've given our power away.
Yeah.
Right, where we need to take it back. So Taurus is what Julie was saying around that full moon. You might want to rewind and listen. Really good full moon to really be honest with yourself about where have you given away your power and where does it need to be taken back? Because there's huge astrology for Tauruses for 2024. So Tauruses are being called upon to really be in their power and share their gifts. So you want to know that you're around the right people, that you're on the right track. So yeah, that's powerful, getting the 10th house. So it's our career, our work, our goals, our empowerment.
Wow, I love that. And Eric is saying Meg is going to lift off into the stars. Yes, I believe so. But, you know, like I feel like there's such tremendous power having Pluto in your 10th house, Taurus rising, especially. And I feel like you're blessed and protected with that Jupiter in your sign in your first house. And you have to stay on course with your sense of purpose, your own guidance. And if you do so, there's a lot of magic that can unfold for sure. Thank you, Eric, for that beautiful comment. Thanks, Meg. So now let's talk about the Geminis.
Geminis, yes. So it's nice for the Gemini sun, moon, and risings that we've now got Mercury direct. For the Geminis and the Virgos, your planetary ruler Mercury is now direct. So that's awesome. And we are in the post-shadow period for the next couple of weeks. But from end of January to April 1st, Mercury is good direct. So yeah, let's talk about the new moon in Capricorn on January 11th. Geminis, this is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of Scorpio, the Scorpio ruled areas of life. So this is new beginnings and opportunities in the areas of life that are hidden and mysterious. So your hidden finances, your shared finances and resources, merging with others. This can definitely, for a lot of Geminis, be about professional relationships, going to the next level and next commitment, because this new moon is in Capricorn, has a lot to do with work and commitment. And the 8th house of Scorpio is like our soul bonds, our soul connections with someone, being really drawn to people and deciding to merge with them, whether that's in, love, sex, or even working with them. That can be the 8th house as well. So paying attention to who you're merged with, what's in alignment and what's not. Great time for new professional relationships, I feel like, and new professional contracts even. Your healing journey, soul growth, sex and intimacy matters, and also personal transformation. Your planetary ruler Mercury is going to be in a square at this new moon, which we've been having a lot of Mercury-Neptune squares lately. When Neptune was retrograde, now direct, and Mercury retrograde, now direct. So we got another Mercury-Neptune square. So just being mindful, Geminis, that you're communicating clearly and you're seeing things clearly. And there's nothing wrong with maybe bouncing ideas off of your friends or family for clarity, okay? Whenever we've got Mercury square Neptune, and this is your planetary ruler, just make sure you're seeing things clearly. You might want to talk to your loved ones, Gemini, sun, moon, risings, but nothing too crazy, because I think it's a really positive new moon. So set your intentions and take action for sure. And then we've got our full moon in Leo on January 25th is happening in your 3rd house. And this is the house of Gemini. So this is your house, Geminis. So it's about releasing, letting go, completion, and illumination. Those are all things that happen around a full moon, having to do with the 3rd house ruled areas of life. So your friends, siblings, local community, how you communicate, social media, our daily gadgets such as cars, learning and also school. So there may be major releases or things being illuminated in those areas of life for you. And some of them may even be shocking because of some of the kind of intense aspects that we've got going on. But this is one of the lighter houses in astrology to have a full moon in. So not like a crazy, um, it might be dramatic for everyone, I'll just be honest, but it's not one of the heavy
Yeah.
houses, right, Julie? So Geminis, it's going to be lighter for you than some of the other signs. So you may actually need to be support for some friends or siblings or people around you.
Good
You
point.
can really be filled with a lot of energy because your ruler Mercury is conjunct Mars in your 8th house at the time of this intense fiery moon. So you can be feeling really, really energized, definitely, possibly even more emotional than usual. And just don't take any conflicts if there are any conflicts, because whenever Mars is conjunct something particularly Mercury, this can maybe be a conflict with a friend or a sibling or a cousin or something like that. Don't take it personally. People are going to be really, I think, triggered around this full moon because I don't know if you might have mentioned this, Julie, but Leo rules drama and the
Right.
theater and being dramatic. So around this full moon, we could be like looking at people that we know, like, oh my God, this is such a drama show right now. Why are they being so dramatic? So just observe, don't absorb. It's a great time, Geminis, for healing work with that Mars Mercury conjunction in your 8th house as well, and letting go what no longer serves. And one of my astrology teachers always says when we've got Mars in the 8th house, according to him, that's one of the best times for cleansing and releasing. Because Mars is really fast, it's really energetic, and the 8th house Scorpio is removing of toxicity and negative energy.
Wow.
So really good to be doing any kind of cleansing work, Geminis.
I love that. And I was feeling also like you said it could be your friends also, let's say, having potential drama. And usually 8th house has to do with like crisis situations. So you might be called to help on people, let's say, dealing with some crisis situation, Gemini. Thank you, Meg, for that. Really resonates with the Geminis that I know. Let's hope they're going to have a great month. And then let's pull some cards. I'm feeling those cards right now for the Geminis. I'm going to switch my deck.
Cool.
All right. So Gemini for the month of January, what do we need to know? Okay. It says it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. And we have the new moon on January 11th that falls into your 8th house. Mars is going to be there. So you were talking about that Mars, which is a really good time to take action into healing. So I'm feeling that very much for the Geminis. I'm feeling like you might be presented with a lot of opportunities during the month of January, and it's going to be a good time to act on it. And I'm gonna pull another one. Woo! Wow. Okay, I love that. I have the creation energy. I love this card. So it's basically saying that you have a lot of creation potential, a lot of opportunities are going to present themselves, and it's you, Gemini, that's going to decide whether you want to act on it or not, but you're going to have a lot of creation potential. So it says, what is trying to be birthed through you? And interesting because the 8th house and that new moon we will have in the 8th house is the house of pregnancy. So literally or figuratively, but I'm feeling more like a figurative way of saying that something wants to be birthed, like a new creation, a new thing in your life. And I feel like it's really exciting for you because you're going to be able to birth something new into the world that you really believe in. So a lot of really powerful creation potential, and you have the green lights from the universe to start anything that you would like to, Geminis.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's really powerful for the Geminis.
Yeah, really. So hope you enjoy that, guys. And let me switch to the next sign. So we will talk about the Cancers. I'm just going to switch my charts. All right. So Cancers, let's start with the new moon on January 11th. So January 11th, we'll have the new moon in Capricorn in your 7th house. of relationships and partnerships. So as we said earlier, this is a very positive new moon with only beautiful aspects, potentially making, let's say, opening up a portal for decision making, because it's making that T-square to the nodes. The nodes are very karmic. Usually it presents that they present themselves with a lot of, let's say, fated events in our lives, and especially for you Cancers, because the nodes are going to be in angular houses. So in your 4th house, in your 10th house, and this new moon will be in your 7th house. So those are all angular houses. So meaning that they usually, let's say, push out like really important events in our lives. So this one is really exciting, and especially for single Cancers, because it's a new start in relationships and partnerships. So it could be a new start in love, a new partnership in your life, in your relationship. For some, it will be the start of a new work partnership because it's in the sign of Capricorn. You could also be making important decisions regarding relationships around this time. So if you are already in a partnership, Cancers, it could also be a new phase in your partnership is starting, where you want to build new structures, you have new projects because of that Mars that is very excited and positive, being exalted in Capricorn in your 7th house. I feel like some will also strengthen their friendships and solidify their relationships to their soul tribe because of that really good aspect to Uranus that's in your 11th house. So Uranus is kind of at home in your 11th house. It talks about your community, your friendship, the people you consider your soul tribe. So I'm feeling this really beautiful vibe with also friendships, not only love relationship, but friendship as well. So solidifying connections, really feeling like you are on the same wavelength with some people, and starting new projects with those people, or starting, let's say, new opportunities or new projects with those people that you connect with. So really positive. Also, the other thing I wanted to say about this new moon for Cancers, we could be seeing maybe a new financial deal with someone or a new mutual investment, since this new moon is at a Scorpio degree, which talk about mutual investment, and it's in your house of partnership. So you can be investing together with someone, either with money, with your energy, with your resources, to pursuing some sort of a specific goal that you both have together. I really believe like something really beautiful can be born, and especially in regards to relationship, partnership, something that is done with someone else, which is the 7th house. And same message for everybody, but the time to act is now because of that Mars in Capricorn, and especially in your angular house here. So now let's switch to the full moon, which will happen on January 25th. Let me share the chart here. So January 25th for Cancers, we're going to have this beautiful full moon, beautiful and intense full moon. And for you Cancers, it's going to be in your 2nd house of finances, resources, and values. So as we said, this one is a very intense full moon, testing our integrity and our values, and especially for Cancers, because the 2nd house is the house of values. It is the house of what do you choose to prioritize, let's say, investing your energy, your resources in. So where do you want to invest this time, this energy, this money, this love? Where do you want to invest those things? So, and the nodes are, no, not the nodes. What did I want to say about it? Okay, I'll get back to my notes and I'll come back to that. So Cancers, of course, because you are ruled by the moon, are going to feel this full moon very strongly. So Cancers, because you're ruled by the moon, you feel all the full moons usually very strongly, but this one even more because it's going to be in opposition to Pluto. So this one is going to be a bit of an eclipse-like, emotionally intense full moon. So you're going to feel this one very much. So just be aware that you can have a lot of emotions coming up. You could be feeling a lot of things that could be emotionally confusing around this full moon. And I love the analogy that Meg, you made earlier with that circus or this drama sort of energy. So beware Cancers, because you usually feel the energies of the world and your own energies very deeply. So you're going to feel a lot of emotions. And yes, it is making a T-square to Jupiter. So that's a T-square I wanted to mention earlier. So we have the sun, the moon here, and we have Jupiter making a T-square in your 11th house. So it calls for important choices to make. And because the full moon is also in your financial axis, making a T-square to Jupiter also in a financial house, you can have important decisions to make around this full moon about finances. Just be aware that the emotions are going to be running high. So maybe you'll need to have some friendly advice. So the 11th house is also about your tribe, your community, your friends. So maybe ask for advice there before making any important decision, because you're going to be feeling a lot of emotions coming up. But on the bright side of things, Cancers could collect even more financial abundance at this time. So Jupiter is going to be in your house of gains. And Pluto will be entering your 8th house of money, of receiving money. So I think if you play your cards well, Cancers, it could be very positive financially speaking, but very intense at the same time. You might have to juggle many things at the time, and you might have to make important financial decisions around this time. And talking about Pluto, that just at this moment entered your 8th house. So on January 20th, you'll have Pluto transiting your 8th house of intensity, of transformation for the next 20 years. So just be aware that you're going to be transforming your core self in a very drastic way throughout, especially this year and the next year, because we're going to feel this transit even stronger in the first years. So the 8th house is all about big personal transformations, financial transformations, intimacy and partnership transformation, deep spiritual shadow work, deep spiritual transformation. Therapy is also very good. Any kind of therapy, not just going to a psychologist, any kind of energetic therapy also. Any kind of work that you do on yourself will be highly rewarded later on. And I believe that in, let's say, 2-3 years from now, you're going to be a totally new person. You're not even going to recognize the person that you were before. So that's the power of Pluto, and especially in the 8th house, which is also ruled by Pluto. So I think it's going to be very positive, especially for people in the spiritual field. So everybody, every Cancer here, and especially Cancer risings that are already working on themselves, I'm feeling that you're going to have a lot of great rewards, and let's hope great financial rewards also, because Pluto can bring a lot of financial gains, especially in the 8th house. But for the people not working on themselves, I think it's going to be a really intense transit. So just beware that this full moon is possibly going to bring a lot of emotional intensity. So this is what I have for Cancer.
Wow. It feels so powerful and intense for the Cancers right now. And I just remembered when we did our 2024 prediction video for Cancers, that was one of the signs where it feels like, wow, they're going through one of the biggest transformations out of any of the signs, with Pluto in their 8th house and a bunch of other things going on. So wow, wow, wow. Let's see what card we get for the Cancer. Yeah. Okay. 5th house.
Okay.
Passion. That's a really nice one. Cancers. So the 5th house is the Leo ruled areas of life. And it's about, yeah, our passions, our creativity, our inner child being seen. So don't know if that was something you brought up there, Julie, but having fun, making time for fun, because there's really big shifts, transformations that are going on. And one of the ways that we can move through that is to take things seriously, but also not taking things too seriously. And Cancers, I can relate to you guys being a Scorpio, you know, the water signs, we feel things so intensely. We feel it emotionally, right? But if you're feeling really emotional, or you're feeling overwhelmed by a transformation or emotions that are coming up, maybe doing something creative can help. Dancing, singing, chanting, painting. That's a message coming through, but also making sure you're having fun during all these changes that are going on. There needs to be fun and play, as well as work, as well as, big life changes as well, that you can have fun through that. So
I absolutely love this message. And you know what? Like, this is what I've been feeling so much recently, that like we're always doing like a lot of shadow work, a lot of deep internal transformation work, and purging a lot of stuff from the past and healing. But when I did the trip with Elena, and I believe we're going to do another episode to talk about it, but briefly, I was feeling that doing things you love, and for me and Elena, it's dancing, and like it's very Leo-like, so I feel like it's very connected to the card you have, is also part of the spiritual work. And I feel like this is the message for Cancers, but it's the message for all of us. I believe you have to do something that lights you up, because it's also part of the spiritual journey. It's not just about suffering, purging, crying, It's also about keeping, let's say, staying true to the love and the joy frequency, which is all about the card that you got. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Laura, come out of your shell and play, Cancers. Love that. But, well, I love the balance between the 8th house and the 5th house. So I think it's a really balancing message for our Cancers. I absolutely love it. Now, Meg, let's talk about our next sign, which is the Leos.
Yeah, this is the one I think I'm the most excited for, this Astro Woo, I gotta say, because wow, it feels like a really big month for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So first of all, Leos.
Should I be scared or?
No, you guys shouldn't be scared. It's all good. That's a nice comment. Rosalie 2020 says, fun is so important. The spiritual things can be so serious. And that's one of the gifts you have, Julie, I hope you don't mind me saying, as a Leo rising at a Leo degree. So you got it so strong with your dancing, and also just the way, even when you're not dancing, even just you being on screen, you share love, so much love and light just through your being. And that's why I love Leos so much, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Risings, because they just are that way. And it's such an important archetype at this time, the Leos, because we got so much, placements in heavy places in the earth signs, and Pluto moving into Aquarius, it can be really techy and kind of technologic, and Leo is the heart. Leo is love, and Leo is light. So Leos, please keep shining. We love you guys. It's very important for you to bring fun and for you to bring playfulness, because life would be super boring and depressing if we didn't have that energy.
Oh, thank you so much, Meg. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So Leo's very big month for you, okay? Because first of all, we're having a full moon in your sign and at a Leo degree. And we're also having the sun, which is your planetary ruler in Western astrologer, having an intense conjunction with Pluto on January 20th. So these are two really big things happening in the same month. So before we get into the new moon and the full moon, around January 20th, that sun, Pluto Cazimi, Leos, you can be going through a major life transformation. Okay, Pluto does not play around. Pluto is not like, I'm going to change my exercise routine and this is my new exercise routine kind of transformation. This is like life-changing, life-shattering, not necessarily negative, but things being revealed, you seeing things in a new way. That's what Sun-Pluto conjunctions are, revealing clarity and big life transformation. So Leos, pay attention to what is coming up. I would say at any point this month, but definitely mid to end of January with that strong Sun-Pluto conjunction. Things are being revealed to you, okay? Then the new moon in Capricorn on January 11th is happening in your 6th house. And this is the house of Virgo, the areas of life that Virgo rules. So this is new beginnings and opportunities in your health, your daily routines, your day-to-day work, pets, if you have pets, or maybe some of you guys are going to get pets because it's a new moon. So it's new things coming into life. Your organization and schedule, and how you are of service to the world. So Leos, with this new moon in Capricorn, which rules career, legacy, and in your 6th house of day-to-day work, new changes, fresh new changes and opportunities are coming forward having to do with your work and how you're of service to the world. This is a great time to start a new work project, to make work changes. Some of you may even be getting new jobs, or some of you may be starting, wow, I'm having a brain fart, like entrepreneurship, because that's Capricorn too. So work is very highlighted and new changes with that for you, Leos. Your ruler, the sun, is in trine to Uranus at the time of that new moon. So some very unexpected positive turn of events can come up because Uranus is unexpected things in trine. This is positive to the sun and the moon, can be coming up around this time. Can even be quite lucky, I think. So make sure you set your intentions, pay attention to what's going on and being revealed around you, and take action in the ways that you need to. Then Leos, we have a magical full moon, magical and intense full moon in Leo in your sign on January 25th, 5 days after the sun Pluto cazimi. This, of course, is happening in your first house because it's in your sign. So the first house represents our identity, self, our physical appearance, how we're seen. This is a very big transformation time for you. And I'm just feeling intuitively like you're learning information throughout the month. And then when it comes to the full moon at the end of January, some decisions need to be made. Some things need to be cleansed, I guess, maybe out of your life. Anything that is not in alignment with you is going to be shown big time. So this is a big transformation time for you. And so make the most of it. And I'm hearing Spirit say, what do you really need to fully release and let go of to move forward on your path? And again, to reiterate, Leos, you are the heart, you are light, you are love, you are creativity, you're an inspiration to us all. And your energy is very important at this time. So don't forget that. And don't let anybody poo-poo you for the amount of light and love that you share, because people can get really triggered by Leos, just saying. Your ruler, the sun, is conjunct Pluto at the time of this full moon as well. And Pluto is moving into Aquarius, will be in Aquarius. And this is in your 7th house. So this is letting go and completion having to do with committed relationships. And Pluto can rule, you know, the dark side of life and toxicity. So it's important to be honest with yourself. Leos, is there any of that toxicity or darkness in your committed relationships, in love, in work, in anyone that you're committed to, right? So if so, be honest with yourself and let it go. So I'm also hearing Spirit say, Leos, this is a really good month for journaling, for writing things down, for really taking stock of what's coming up around you, because this is very big transformation for you to move forward on your love and light filled path ahead.
Wow. Okay. I'm ready. I saw Jenny says, I'm ready earlier. And she says, wow, this already feels so true. Like Laura says, roar, line, roar. And Catherine Days with Jinko says, as a Leo rising, this speaks to me so much. Yes, resonating like a bell. Thank you so much, Meg. Wow, this seems like a very important month for the Leos.
Yeah.
Let's see what the cards have to say for the general messages for Leos. General guidance. Wow. Ah, I think it's the first time I see this card. So it says, the golden age of Gaia. So it's a very positive card. It says cycles of consciousness returning to our golden age. And it's funny that it speaks to cycles of consciousness, because now that we're entering the age of Aquarius, as you said, Meg, earlier, we have to balance out even more the opposing sign of Aquarius, which is Leo. So I'm feeling this is a big confirmation of what you just said earlier, that the Leo energy is so needed right now, especially as we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which can be on the dark side, let's say, an over focus on the mental realm, on the intellect. And I feel like Leos are here to guide people to stay in the heart. And wow, and it shows like a wheel with all the yugas, and it says returning to our golden age. So the message also that I'm getting intuitively, and as I'm saying that, like my nose is getting runny, so this happens when I'm getting messages, is that you're going to return to a state of purity, Leos. And January is only like the start of that process. Anytime like people have thought that you were crazy for following something that you like, for following your heart, and from making decisions based out of your inner child, what brings you joy, I feel like you are getting back to that original pure state of getting really close to your heart and your inner child. And that's going to make sense in your external environment. It's going to start making sense in January. And I'm going to pull another one. It's funny that I have this deck for so long. It's the first time that I see this card. Okay. And the other one that I'm going to pull for Leos, wow, is Venus. Ooh. So it says Venus beloved. So I feel like the love frequency is somewhat like a key ingredient in this month for the Leos. And Leo rule love, romance, joy, having fun. And I feel like you're going to have a lot of gifts and opportunities coming to you. Remain in that love and joy frequency, whatever people say, because we know, Leo knows what the way is ahead, and they're going to be guiding a lot of people. So I'm feeling a lot of beautiful energy from the cards for Leos. I hope you guys resonate with that. And thank you so much, Shauna, Mary. Wishing everybody a happy and prosperous 2024, full of love. And yes, we just had the Venus card, so I love that. Thank you, gorgeous Julie and Meg. Wow, thank you so much, Shauna. Really appreciate. And talking about that, I wanted to bring up another comment. Oh, this is the comment I wanted to bring up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Diane is saying, miss you guys. And yes, missing the course. Yes, I know. I miss you guys so much. We're going to resume the astrology course next week, so next Friday. So if you'd like to join in, it's not too late. We're going to talk about Sagittarius on next Friday. So we still have at least, I believe, 5 classes. So it's not too late if you'd like to join the group. We have an awesome community. Really looking forward to reunite with all of you guys. Jenny, thank you. Meg and Julie, loving the Leo reading. Yay. I'm excited too. Okay, now let's talk about Virgos. And let me shift my charts. Okay, so I will share the first wheel. So this one is going to be for January 11th. This is the new moon in Capricorn. And for Virgos, it's going to activate our 5th house of love, romance, and creativity. So overall, this is a very positive, very hopeful new moon. So a very, let's say, important portal for newness, and especially in the 5th house, which rules your own creations. So what would you like to bring into this world? It can also mean a new start in love, a new start in romance for some Virgos. It could also mean a new hobby, a new passion is coming your way, or a new work project because it's in the sign of Capricorn. So it can also mean you're starting something with passion in your work or in your business. And for Virgos that are thinking about starting a new business, this is a really good portal of energy, just saying, because the 5th house is also your own business, your own projects. It rules your children. And, you know, if you have a business or a project, it's kind of your baby at the same time. So it's a really good portal of energy if you'd like to bring something new into the world, like a business or a professional project. For creative projects, it's a really good portal of energy as well. It's going to bring in some more passion, some more, let's say, vacation type of energy, fun type of energy. And also, it's making a sextile, so a really good aspect to Neptune in your 7th house. So I think it's going to be a very dreamy, loving new moon. Very loving energies from that Neptune sextile. So you're going to feel very loving, very creative. It could be a very positive start to any artistic endeavor around this time. And if you'd like to get better at an art, at a hobby you enjoy, it's a really good time to put action into getting better at it. Mars is going to push you into becoming even better. It's going to inspire you. It's going to activate you even more, energize you. And lastly, I wanted to say there could be some important decisions to be made around your values, what lights you up. It is making a T-square to the nodes, which are in your financial axis, but also your energy axis. So you could be making really important decisions on where do you want to invest your time, your energy, your money, your love, what rings true to you, what makes sense for you, what do you want to create, and how do you want to invest those resources accordingly. And it's a really good time to really think about what lights you up in life, what makes you feel inspired, and to do more of that around this new moon. What regenerates your energy as well. So it's not just only work focused, but also what makes you regenerate that energy, what lights you up, and what allows you to have even more energy to financially thrive, because it's going to impact also your financial axis. And then let's talk about the other lunation, which is the full moon. And I forgot to say also, Mercury is direct, so the ruler of Virgo. So Virgos are going to be feeling a lot better in January. Now let's talk about the full moon, which is happening on January 25th. So this one is going to be a little more tricky because it's falling in the Virgo's 12th house. And the 12th house is about losses, it's about endings, and so is the full moon. The full moon is a completion process, something coming to an end. And this one is very intense in nature because, as we said earlier, it is opposing Pluto and the sun in your 6th house. So this axis is not the easiest. I think there's a silver lining, of course, like usual, but I'm just going to share very honestly with you guys. I think this is going to be a tough, probably roller coaster of emotions, and you'll have to let go of a lot of things, let go of emotions, do a lot of healing about the emotions that come up around this time. 12th house is all about letting go, about letting go of possible negativity surrounding people that don't, let's say, align with what lights you up, which is Leo. It could also be an ending to some work chapter because we have this opposition within the 6th house, which is your day-to-day work, 12th house, which is the ending of. It could also be something coming to an end. But on the silver lining side, we have the T-square to Jupiter in your 9th house. So Jupiter will remain there until May of this year of 2024. So Jupiter in your 9th house, Virgo, is like this protective force over you. So whatever happens, you have like a direct access to your higher self and your guidance. So whenever you need to find answers, you are very protected by your group of guides, your higher self at the same time. So just know that whenever you need help, you only need to ask, and the help will be made available for you. So that Jupiter is coming, bringing some blessings and protection throughout this possible, let's say, challenge that life is going to bring. What did I want to say after that? There are possible big decisions that might come up regarding work, health, and general direction in life because of that axis, which is in your 6th and 12th. And the 9th house is all about seeing things from a higher point of view. So you're going to be able to see things with more clarity and be able to plan accordingly. And again, Jupiter is all about following your own purpose, your own sense of purpose, your own guidance. So really remain true to what you think is true for you and let go whatever no longer aligns. So I think for Virgos, there will be a lot of letting go, but as long as you align with who you know you are, I think that could bring some future blessings. And I wanted also to talk about, oh, there are also possible power struggles at work because of that Pluto entering your 6th house. And since Pluto will be there for the next 20 years, and just by the way, the 6th house is ruled by Virgos, so I think Virgos are probably lucky to have Pluto there for the next 20 years because it's going to do a lot of cleansing in Virgo themes. So usually Virgos are really good with working with the 6th house, which is all about work, health, day-to-day routine, healthy routines. So Pluto will be entering there and changing your day-to-day work and health balance. So any kind of purging of toxicity, whether in your health, whether in your work, in your day-to-day routine, Pluto will help to, let's say, push forward this big cleansing in your life. It's possible also that you will be, let's say, adding responsibilities to your work, having even more power in your own not power, but in your own work realm. So it's possible that you will add up some more roles at work. And again, I think meditation and asking your higher self for guidance at this time will be probably the best thing to do for Virgos. All right. Let me know, Meg, if that resonates, and also maybe we could pull some cards for general guidance for Virgos.
Yeah, sounds like a big month for everybody.
Yeah.
In different ways. Wow.
In different ways, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what card we get for the Virgos. 7th house, relationships. Was there something that was activating the 7th house, Julie?
The new moon is in the 7th house at January 11th.
Wow. So yeah, Virgos, your relationships, look at that beautiful picture. It's like the 2 hands interlocking, holding hands. And I just keep hearing Spirit say, what are we committed to? And what is in alignment with that commitment, relationship-wise, right? In our values as well. So paying attention to your relationship, there can definitely be, with the new moon in the 7th house, new relationships for Virgos in love, in work, in any committed way being forged. So that is definitely being highlighted with the cards as well.
Wow. That's a good confirmation. I love that. Stella's saying chills, Julie. Wow. Yes. So I love that because I feel like there hasn't been a lot of relationship energy lately for Virgos, but now it seems to be all changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Hope you guys resonate with that, with the Virgos. Let's now talk about Libras.
Okay. Yeah. Our lovely Libra, sun, moon, and risings. We'll start with the new moon that's happening in Capricorn on January 11th. This new moon is going to be happening in your 4th house, which is the house of Cancer, the Cancer ruled areas of life. So this is new beginnings and opportunities in your family, your home, also having to do with real estate, property, your healing journey, because Cancer is a very healing sign and frequency, and your emotional well-being. So some of you Libras can be making new important commitments, because it's a new moon in Capricorn, to your family, or deciding to start a family of your own. Some of the Libras with this new moon. Also, your family's legacy is highlighted, because Capricorn can be like the legacy of our family, right? The reputation of our family. So that's highlighted, and how is that going to go moving forward? So if some of you guys have like family businesses, or you're a part of family businesses, there can be very positive developments with that, this new moon, positive new beginnings. And your ruler Venus is in the 3rd house in an exact trine to Chiron in your 7th house. So I feel like your relationships are also going through a very positive healing development at this new moon as well. And this new moon in general, whenever we have Chiron involved in something, brings, in a positive aspect, brings a very healing frequency. So I really like the energy of this new moon for Libras. Pay attention to what's going on with your family and your family's legacy and your emotional well-being as well. And are there any new routines or commitments you need to make for yourself, for your own emotional well-being? And then we've got for the full moon in Leo on January 25th, this is happening in your 11th house, Libras, and this is the house of Aquarius. So there's release, letting go, completion, and illumination having to do with your friends, your group associations, and your dreams and goals, technology, your relationship with technology, the future, and humanitarianism as well. So you can see some completion having to do with maybe some friends, Libra, or group associations, or some of those things I just mentioned. And your ruler Venus, very positive side of this full moon, is your ruler Venus is in a beautiful trine to Jupiter at the time of this full moon. So even though it's a really intense full moon, I think you might be one of the signs feeling it more lightly, if you will, and there can actually be big blessings coming forward regarding your creativity, inner child, children, which are all ruled by Leo, and your personal healing journey, because Venus is in the 4th house and Jupiter is in the 8th house in that beautiful trine. And those are two houses that have a lot to do with healing and our healing journey. So yeah, I like the energy this month for you Libras. Pay attention to your family, your friends, who you surround yourself with, and what are those goals, dreams that you're deciding to commit to at this time.
Love that. Let's see what the cards want us to know for the general guidance for Libras. Okay. So yeah, it reminds me, I think it's the lyrics of the Age of Aquarius song, when the moon is in the 7th house. Yeah. Jupiter aligned with Mars. Yeah. Love it, Frederick. Okay, for Libras, guidance for the month of January. What do we need to know for January for Libra? Okay. Okay. And this one. All right. So I have Pluto as the first card, and it says rebirth over here. So I'm feeling this energy very strongly for everybody, but especially for Libras, apparently. And so a lot of things, I believe, Libras will change, evolve. And since Libras, your mission here in this lifetime is to rebalance everything, to find like a middle ground between polarities, I feel like you will find the month of January to be a bit destabilizing at first before you'll be able to rebalance everything. But there is going to be huge changes and possibly also karmic people entering your life, karmic events happening. There's going to be a lot of changes. And we have, well, Pluto is entering your 5th house. So there could also be changing surrounding what do you want to create for the future. And then the other card that I have is the 12th house, and it talks about introspection. So I feel like for a lot of Libra, it will be as equally important as, let's say, taking action in the real world, taking also a lot of time alone, introspection, time to really meditate on the general direction that you'd like to give to your life. I feel like it's going to be equally important with, let's say, doing stuff in the 3D world. So this kind of resting energy, which is the 12th house, regenerating, meditating, spending time alone. So we have a huge focus here on introspection, because you're going to have to navigate through all those changes, and you're going to have to find your own direction that you want to take. And also Libras, a little download here, you are usually very focused on everybody else, on relationships. So this is what I think is going to be super important for your mental health, spiritual health, is to really connect with your own energy and to refocus on what do you want, because outside of everybody else, and everybody's going to feeling really intense energies, especially with the full moon. And I'm feeling like you're going to need to disconnect from that and reconnect with yourself outside of outside influences. So let me know if that resonates, Libras. And we will now switch to our next sign, which is Scorpio. I'm sure, Meg, you're very excited about this one.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Scorpios. And I will bring up my chart over here. So I think it's going to be, well, it's going to be a big month for everybody, but especially for Scorpios, since both lunations are aspecting your planet, which is Pluto. So let's talk about first January 11th. We have this new moon in Capricorn, and for you Scorpios, it's going to activate your third house. So this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon. Third house talks about also planning, making plans, communication, marketing, traveling, short travels. And it's in the sign of Capricorn, which sees for the future. So I think it's a really good month to put onto paper your intentions, what you'd like to manifest surrounding, I was going to say January, but also the whole year of 2024, because Capricorn talks about long-term. Third house is all about the written, and also be really mindful about the words that you're expressing, because it's also the third house. You have like a lot of manifestation potential surrounding this new moon in your third house of communication. So either written or oral. So be really mindful of the words you use, because you have a really good chance to manifest anything that you're saying out loud, and also writing down. So I would use definitely a journal, especially surrounding this new moon. But very positive overall. There could be some new projects, new moving plans, new friendships, and even talking about short travels. Very positive time to make plans overall for Scorpios and to start new projects. Third house is all about also projects. And since it's in the sign of Capricorn, it's projects that could have a really long-term energy to it, long-term potential. There could also be new social media projects for Scorpios, new communication project, new marketing, new business projects, because it's in the sign of Capricorn. So I'm focusing a lot of the work on the work and on your career, which is Capricorn. Also, since this new moon is making really good aspects to both Uranus and Neptune, I believe that anything you start surrounding this new moon could be highly positive surrounding the response for with the public or the clientele. If you work with a clientele or social media or the public, you have the support of the clientele and the public in your seventh house. So if you are working with people, if you have working with clients, anything you start surrounding this new moon will have the support of those clients and fans, even if you are on social media. And also, what did I want to say here? I forgot. I have a brain fart. Anyways, so support of your fans, social media followers, partners is going to be really supportive. And also you could be making important decisions regarding work, regarding health, regarding your balance between work and rest, because it is T-squaring the nodes, which are right now in your 6th and 12th house. So you could be making important plans and decisions in order to balance even more, like how much you want to work, how much do you want to rest, how much do you want to invest in your spiritual development, how much do you want to work on a day-to-day basis. So those could be themes you want to think over around this new moon. Also, you could be really feeling very creative because it's making a sextile to Neptune in your 5th house of creation. So you could be starting new artistic endeavors, artistic projects. And overall, I think it's going to be a really, really positive new moon and very creative new moon for Scorpios. And then let's move to the next one, which is the full moon in the sign of Leo. And for Scorpios, it's going to fall in your 10th house. So this one is going to be highly felt, especially for Scorpios, because it falls in angular houses. So the sun is transiting your 4th house with Pluto that just recently entered your 4th house of your foundations, your values, your family, your home, your living situation. And the moon is opposing that little bunch of planets here in your 10th house of career, life, mission. So that in itself is very, very, let's say, central. And also we have a T-square to Jupiter that is in your 7th house. So I think Jupiter helps balance this full moon, but you're going to feel the intensity of it, I'm quite sure. So a full moon could be about closure, it could be about ending, it could be about getting the rewards of something we've worked for in the past. So a work project could be coming to a close. You could have some closure in your relationship to your father, to authority figures, to a boss, to a career, to a life mission. So not necessarily something completely over, but you can have either some closure or getting the rewards of the hard work you've put in previously to this full moon. The other thing that I'm feeling very strongly for Scorpios is kind of finding a better balance between your personal life and your professional life. So I feel like this is going to be a core theme moving forward, because that Pluto is entering your 4th house of personal life, of family, of living situation, place of living for the next 20 years. But you're going to feel it even more this year and next year. But this full moon is kind of starting this energy with a bang. So it's asking you to prioritize, first of all, what you believe in, to be able to shine in the way that you want to shine professionally. And then you're going to have to make important choices, probably according to finding a better balance within your personal, professional life. So that Pluto that enters your 4th house demands your attention in your home and family sector. So probably there's going to be a lot of movement there. So a lot of Scorpios could be moving, changing place of living, acquiring new properties, or having a change in their family situation, starting something new at home, renovation, you name it. But there's probably something that needs your attention at home. And you're going to be very focused there. So that full moon will highly highlight this axis for you, Scorpios. I'm feeling very strongly that you will need to speak your truth in relationship to your partners, because that Jupiter is going to be highly activated there in your 7th house. So I think we're going to be all tested around this full moon. Regarding what do we believe in, our sense of purpose, but especially for you, Scorpios, it's going to be within your relationships. So think long-term, think core values. What do you believe in? Why do you believe you're here? What's your mission? So I believe those things are going to be really important for you to base your decision on in the coming month. And I think it's going to be unfolding a lot of important life development, especially for Scorpios. Yay!
Oh, yeah, and totally accurate and on point. So crazy.
Well, thank you for that validation.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what card we have for the Scorpios. And I really felt too, Julie, what you said about communication. Like us Scorpios, sometimes we can be a little bit, I'll say like negative, and I am a Scorpio, I'm speaking for myself. Like our words are very powerful, and Scorpio rules the dark side of life. So just being very mindful what we're saying, that felt really important when you said that, Julie, because we can get really passionate and then sometimes say things that we might not necessarily mean, like the ARIES. So just being really mindful, Scorpios, that felt important. The card is solar flares.
Wow.
Activate. Wow. So there's a big activation happening for Scorpios. And the solar flares, I know there was some solar flares going on a couple weeks ago. I don't know if there's any happening right now, but if there are solar flares, they can be really affecting the Scorpios, literally. And also that's interesting because what I just said, the sun and the solar flares are about light and optimism and positivity and moving forward. And I'm just feeling like something around that for the Scorpios. Like, what are you doing that's positive in your life? And I'm not calling you guys, I'm not saying we're negative. I'm just saying, like, what are we doing that's positive? Where are we bringing love and light and the energy of the sun? Because we can be really into the conspiracies and, all the really intense information. We can even get obsessed and absorbed by that, right? So where is it we're bringing light and love? Where can we activate more of the sun energy in our life. When's the last time you sat outside in the sun and just took in the sun's rays, right? So that feels really important, Scorpios.
And as you were saying that, like the sun was really intense here where I am. So I think it's a good validation of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Solar flare is totally appropriate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right. Okay. Sorry. I was waiting for another card.
Are we doing 2 cards or 1 card each?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, yeah, let's do another one.
Okay. I don't know why I was waiting for a second.
Okay, bonus card, Scorpios. I love bonus cards. Yay! Trine and sextile. So we got 2 really positive cards, Scorpio. And I'm just feeling it again. Where is the love? Where is the light? Where is the enjoyment in life? Okay, so I don't know who's watching, but some of us Scorpios, and I know this is also for me because I am a Scorpio, we need to do more fun things. Okay, because it's like when you're a Scorpio, you're always aware of what's going, there's never really a break, if that makes sense. It's really intense being a Scorpio. So you don't always need to be so intensely researching something or into something, like do something fun. When's the last time you did something fun? I'm just really feeling that for the Scorpios right now.
Well, I love it. Yay. A lot of light for our friend the Scorpios and for you, Meg. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, let's now talk about Sagittarius.
Yay, the Saggies that always seem to have something lucky going on every time we the Sagittariuses. So yeah, first of all, Saggies, your planetary ruler, which is Jupiter, just went direct at the end of December. So that's very nice. We've got Jupiter direct. So you're going to be feeling a shift of moving ahead easier and more effortlessly. And really important, if anybody's interested, any sign, look at your chart to see where you have the early degrees of Taurus, because that's where Jupiter just moved direct, right? So Saggies, and yeah, we got Coco, who's a Saggy. Hey, Coco, you guys are awesome. So we got the new moon in Capricorn on January 11th is happening in your 2nd house, Sagittarius. And this is the house of Taurus, the areas of life that Taurus rules. So this is new beginnings and opportunities in your values, your income, your physical resources, and also your habits as well. So this can be like a new revenue income stream coming in, or really positive developments even happening with work, Sagittariuses. And the dispositor of the new moon, dispositor means the ruler of the new moon, Capricorn, is Saturn. Saturn is in all really good aspects, which is nice because Granddaddy Saturn is a malefic like Pluto. And when he's in adverse aspects, it really shakes things up and it's really intense. So we've got the dispositor Saturn in really, really nice aspects, including a beautiful sextile to your ruler Jupiter. So this is actually a lucky new moon for you Sagittarius. Pay attention to what is showing up around you and definitely set some new intentions, reflect on what are your long-term goals, and maybe write those down, do a vision board, a crystal grid. Julie suggested that earlier. I love doing crystal grids. Whatever it is that you like to do around a new moon, do it, because this is like very, very positive for the Sagittarians for moving ahead in your values, in your income and work in particular, because Jupiter is in the 6th house, day-to-day work in sextile to Mars, exalted in Capricorn in the 2nd house. So very positive new developments financially and in work and with clients. So loving this new moon for the Saggies. And then the full moon in Leo on January 25th is happening in your 9th house. So this is where I'm saying you guys always have like really positive things going on. The Sagittarians, it always makes me laugh. And this is the house of Sagittarius. So this is your house. And as Julie was saying earlier, I forget what the other sign is that she was talking about earlier, the 9th house of Sag, yes, it's foreign travel and higher learning and our higher consciousness, but it's luck and spiritual protection. So this is going to be a very intense full moon for everyone. But of course, Saggies, you've got it happening in the 9th house. So there's going to be, I think, a very positive new development in your beliefs or a lucky opportunity being presented to you for sure. And full moons are about release, letting go, completion. and illumination. So having to do with your beliefs, teachers, people you look up to, your higher learning pursuits. Yeah, Coco, you guys are the lucky duckies, that's for sure. It's also foreign travel, foreign people, higher consciousness. So those areas are highlighted, and release and letting go and illumination happening with those areas. And your ruler Jupiter is still in a beautiful sextile to Saturn around the new moon and then also around this full moon. So this is like a sacred time of expansion and growth for you Sagittarians with that beautiful Jupiter sextile to Saturn. The structures of your life are changing in a very positive way, positive developments in your reputation, because that can be Saturn. And new opportunities are coming forward career-wise if you work or having to do with your legacy. So as usual, lucky time for the Saggies.
Yay! I love that. Okay, let's see what the cards want to add to your beautiful reading.
Yeah. Hi, Luke. Luke says, yes, Sag Moon. I'm taking this good luck on the emotional side. Awesome.
Yeah, and as my moon is in Sag, so I'm thinking that as on the emotional side as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So first card here, I'm going to pull another one. All right. So the first one I have for Saggies is Mercury, and it says messages. So I'm feeling like January will be full of synchronicity and messages and downloads for Saggies. And because I'm feeling, I just looked at my chart, and Pluto is entering your third house, and we'll have this Sun Pluto conjunction on January 20th in your third house. So I'm feeling like a lot of information will be revealed during the month of January, and also having my runny nose. So it's a double confirmation for that. So pay attention, Saggies, to all the synchronicities. They're not going to be random. They're going to lead you to understand a lot of things that were previously hidden. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of revelation throughout January. So just try to accumulate the most data that you can, and try to observe a lot of what's going on around you. Because the other card that I pull for you, Saggies, is discernment. And it says, we are learning to discern the truth from the lies. And January for Saggies feels like you're going to input a lot of information and observation, and you're going to learn a lot about your environment and the people that are near you. And it feels like you're not going to necessarily make important decisions in January, but you're going to need this information moving forward. And I can't remember where I heard that, but they said that information is power. So I'm feeling that very strongly for Sagittarius. So just try to observe and input a lot of information and data, and it's going to serve you well in the coming months for your discernment. And we all know that Sagittarius are really good at discerning to start with, but somehow this is the message Spirit wants you to know. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but hey, here it is. All right, so hope that resonates with you, Saggies. And then we're going to talk about our next sign, the Capricorns. So let me change my wheel for you, Cappies. And we're going to talk about, firstly, this new moon on January 11th. Okay. So January 11th, we'll have, well, the beautiful new moon is going to be in your sign. So how blessed are you, Capricorns? And I know, last year wasn't the easiest for Capricorns. I know a lot of Capricorns that have had a lot of intense events happen to them. So I feel like this one is going to be a breath of fresh air and of positivity for you. So January 11th is 111. It's like the perfect new start for manifestation, and especially when it falls in your sign or in your first house. So if you are a Capricorn rising, it means that you have it in your first house. So a lot of manifestation potential, creation potential opens up to you. And if you are a Capricorn sun, it means that this new moon is really close to your solar return. So it's going to impact your year ahead. So your year ahead, if you're a Capricorn sun, is going to be marked under the really beautiful energies of this new moon. So you can really create whatever you want, basically. Very, very positive new moon, and especially in your signs. So I think Capricorns will be blessed throughout January. And I want to say also happy birthday if you are a Capricorn sun, because we are right now in Capricorn season, and we will be until January 20th. So beautiful new moon to launch your new solar return year if you are a Capricorn sun, with exciting and inspiring new projects and ideas. So this is really a portal to start new ideas, projects, to think about the long term, what you'd like to manifest generally in your life. So your first house is anything you'd like to manifest in your life. It could be anything. So you have like this carte blanche, so you can manifest anything you'd like. You are full of energy because this Mars will be exalted in your sign, in your first house. So you have a lot of drive, inspiration to start new things. You will feel physically stronger, physically energized. You are very driven to realize your dreams. And plus, it's an important new moon because it falls in angular houses. And as we said earlier, it is making a T-square with the nodes. And the nodes right now are in your 4th and 10th house, which is kind of the spinal cord of the birth chart. So you might need to make important decisions, Capricorn, but I feel like you'll have the upper hand on whatever presents itself to you because you're kind of the most blessed sign for this new moon. So there's potential big life decisions. I see a lot of Capricorns deciding to go on a new path with that new moon, starting something new and exploring life's possibilities. So I feel like this is going to be, as I said, like a breath of fresh air, a really new start to something very exciting for Capricorns. And plus, you could be feeling very creative and getting some downloads about what you'd like to start because Uranus is making a good aspect to this new moon. It's in your 5th house of creation, creativity, getting downloads. Also starting a business if it's what you'd like, a professional project. It could also be the case here with that 5th house. So anything you'd like to start, you are blessed, Capricorns, with that new moon. Then let's talk about the other one, which is the full moon on January 25th. So this full moon will be in your 8th house of the house that's naturally ruled by Scorpio. So this is going to be for everybody a really intense full moon, testing our integrity. It's going to be even more intense for Capricorn since it's going to be happening in your 8th house. So just try to stay on the high vibe of the new moon that we have on January 11th, because once we get there, I think everybody will feel tested, and especially since it's happening in a really emotionally intense house like the 8th house. So a very scorpionic full moon in the house of Scorpio, and it's opposing the planet of Scorpio, which is Pluto. So for Capricorns, I feel like it's going to translate as a lot of revelations coming into your life, transformations, death and rebirth. So I feel like whatever you'd like to start previously on the new moon on January 11th, it's going to ask of you to transform something in order to create some space for that newness around the full moon. So it's kind of backwards a little bit. So you'll start something new and then you'll have to revisit something and maybe end something in order to create space for that new project, that newness coming into your life. Also, since this full moon is happening in your financial axis, your financial situation could change, Capricorns. You could also, on the good side, receive some unexpected money, or on the downside, pay unexpected expenses. So I'm just going to mention anything here because we have the full moon here in your 8th house. And the sign of Leo is quite up and down financially. It's kind of big gambles. So you could be having a return on investment on a big gamble. So that's the positive side. But also that Pluto can be a bit tricky. So just make sure that you are being really grounded in your energy around this, especially around this intense full moon. Also, Pluto on January 20th enters your second house of finances, investments, values, and it will totally transform the way you deal with money and resources. And I feel like it's going to allow you to use your resources in a totally new way, Capricorns. So on the really good side, I think there's a lot of healing potential with your relationship to money. And I feel like you're going to view money even more like an energy, a potential, a resource to use on whatever, let's say, intent you have, on whatever goal you have. So I think like this whole transformation is starting in January because of that transit of Pluto starting in your second house. So your values also can change, your priorities can change, the way you want to use your resource is probably going to change, Capricorns. And focus on that. I think it's a really good focus to have around this full moon because it's going to bring so much intensity in the world. So if you can really think about what's important to you and where you'd like to invest your resources, I think it's going to be a really grounding energy for Capricorns. And we'll have Jupiter here, kind of the saving grace in this full moon in your fifth house. So again, kind of a similar message than what we had previously. Stay in the joy and the love frequency. Do something that recharges your battery, something you love to do. Maybe you love learning new things, Jupiter. Maybe you'd like to enroll on a new course. So it's going to shift this energy from potentially something that can be a bit of a downer to something that's going to be a little bit more uplifting. So let's hope it resonates. That's what I have for Capricorns. Let me know, Meg, what do you feel with the cards, with the messages?
Yeah, let's see what we get with the cards. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. We got the Ascendant card, which we haven't really gotten for anyone else. And that's the Ascendant is the start of our first house. And that's interesting because the new moon in Capricorn is going to be happening in Capricorn's first house.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really, I'm hearing Spirit say, like, Capricorns, how do you show up and how do you want to show up? What do you want to be remembered for? I feel like Saturn wants me to talk in this very intense Capricornian way. What do you want your legacy to be after you die? I know that's like really intense to say, but you know, is what you're doing right now in your life something that you want your grandchildren, your future children, the world to remember you by? Or is there something that you know you need to step into, that you know you need to start doing, that is part of your legacy to be remembered by? So there's just a message coming through for that. And this is like, I feel really positive energy, really positive horizons coming in after what the heck all you guys have been going through since 2008. Because this is the tension, square, semi-square, quincunx card. So, you know, it's one thing to believe in the astrology. It's another thing for me personally and Julie. We're looking at charts all the time. We're talking to people all the time and hearing their experiences. Like, astrology is totally real. And all the Capricorns, hope you guys don't mind me saying it, have been going through really intense times. Suns, moons, and risings. Some even life-threatening situations, some dark nights of the souls, depending on the degree of their Capricorn placements since 2008 and when exactly Pluto was conjunct those placements or square or opposite. So it's been hellish. I will use that word for the Capricorns. Like, this is no joke at all. Luke is saying 100. Yeah. So know that real growth, I feel, is when we have to go through the dark night of the soul. That's what Saturn and Pluto teaches us. We have to go through the hard lessons. It doesn't just come for free, the growth and having a legacy that's worth something. You guys have gone through that since 2008. And I'm not saying that it's going to be all roses and unicorns and cupcakes, from this point forward, because Capricorns have big responsibility in this lifetime. But there's a beautiful new horizon coming forward this month with Pluto entering Aquarius. And I'm hearing like a breath of fresh air for the Capricorns. So thank God. And I feel like since you guys have been really going through it, I'm going to pull an extra card for the Capricorns just for you.
The word you said, legacy, really resonates, especially with that Pluto entering their second house.
Yeah.
Really resonates.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting that the Capricorns and the Scorpios, two of the most intense signs, both got the solar flares card?
Wow.
So focus on the positive in life. It's important for the Capricorns and the Scorpios to be on the positive side of things because there's been a lot of intensity that those signs have been going through. So like, when's the last time you danced? When's the last time you sang? When's the last time you did something really silly, went to a comedy show, like just did something fun? It's safe. I'm hearing Spirit say, Capricorns, to have fun again, to be silly again, because it's no joke. And people who don't have Capricorn placements probably don't get how intense this has been for the Capricorns. Like, it's been the most intense things you can possibly go through where you don't feel safe to have fun. Right? So yep. Spirit's saying, Capricorns, it is safe. It is time. This is a beautiful new Gregorian year for you, and I'm very happy for you guys. So good job for all that you've been through.
Wow, that's such a beautiful message. I almost want to cry for the Capricorn. I know that I've been through it. Yeah, Tim is saying, yes, Capricorns have been carrying Pluto for a while. Yes. Good point, Tim. So yes, I think you're going to feel a huge shift, Capricorn, in January for the whole 2024, because yes, Pluto is going to go back very briefly at the end of the year into your sign. But other than that, like most of 2024, you're going to be free of this whole destruction energy in your life. So you're going to start building again. And that starts in January. That was such a beautiful message. Thank you so much, Meg, for that. Thank you, Tim. Okay, let's now switch to Aquarius.
Aquarians, who you guys are going to start having Pluto in your sign. But I don't want and I'm not just saying this just because I really feel like Pluto in Capricorn is one of the most intense places for Pluto to be. So personally, I don't feel like this is going to be as bad for the Aquarians as what the Capricorns just had to go through. I could be wrong about that. That's just what I feel. But I'm not going to lie. You got Pluto in your sign. So buckle up, Aquarius.
Yeah, definitely. But also I feel like with the yugas, also like we're definitely on a onward kind of tendency with the energy, like there's more consciousness throughout the world. So I feel like this is also helping this Pluto transit, which makes it different from the Capricorn dark ages. Like I feel like we're definitely moving up collectively, which is going to help the Aquarians.
Yeah, that's so true, Julie. That's such a good point. So yeah, Aquarians, Pluto is entering your sign. So get ready for that, because from now until, what is it, 2044, Julie? Is it 2044 or 2041? I feel like it's 44.
What are we talking about?
Sorry, the year that Pluto is gonna.
Oh, 2044. Sorry.
2044. Yeah. So Aquarians, the next few years, and we go more in depth into the sign by sign forecast that we did for 2024 for the Aquarians. So I won't get too into it, but the next 3 years are absolutely life-changing for you guys. So you're going to want to look at where exactly you've got Pluto on your chart based on your rising sign. Yeah, Aquarian, Sun, Moon, and Rising, your Pluto is initiating you into your next level of your soul growth with Pluto being in your sign. Anything toxic in your life, anything that doesn't serve is going to come to the surface and be right in your face for you to deal with. And it's very transformational and very empowering. So some of you guys can, and I think it makes sense with us entering the age of Aquarius. Aquarians are entering leadership positions. They're entering more levels of responsibility and soul growth. So really big time for you guys. Your ruler Uranus goes direct on January 26th. So yay! We've got all from January 26th onward, all planets are direct until April 1st. So this is, I'm calling this like go time, get your shit together, all the signs, not just Aquarians. Get your stuff together because it feels like the next part of the year, this is just my personal interpretation, just make sure you have everything in order because it's a big kind of I guess I'll use the word unknown, what it is exactly we're going to be dealing with in the later part of 2024. Okay, so just make sure you got all your stuff in order. I'll just say it like that. So Aquarians, Uranus going direct. And then the new moon in Capricorn on January 11th is happening in your 12th house, the house of Pisces, Aquariuses. So this is new beginnings and opportunities having to do with your healing journey. And how interesting is that? Because Pluto is going to be going into Aquarius this month. And to start the month, we got the new moon in your 12th house. So this is your healing journey, your spirituality, your spiritual connection, your creativity, your hidden life, behind the scenes, your sleep, dream time. There's new beginnings and opportunities having to do with those things. I'm hearing spirits say, like, you may think you're spiritual now, but wait until this new moon and wait until like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, like and Pluto also, not just this new moon in the 12th house, but Pluto is a very spiritual planet. So Pluto goes to the root of something and reveals it and heals it. So this is like, if you don't have a healing practice, Aquariuses, might be a good time to start therapy, holistic therapy, energy healing, some kind of practice to go through this Pluto and Aquarius transit, among other things for sure. But this new moon, we've got your ruler Uranus is going direct the day after this new moon. Actually, no, what am I talking about? We're talking about the new moon, January 11th.
Yep.
So that's more for the full moon. This can be really important for you to reflect on what are your hidden goals and aspirations. What do you hide from the world? The 12th house is like the 12th house and the 4th house and 8th house, all the water sign houses are kind of like what we hide in a way from the world. But the 12th house, especially because Pisces is that which is not of this world and fantasies and illusions and our dreams. So what do you hide from the world that you're ready to kind of show? I'm really feeling that with this new moon for the Aquarius. And who is the real you, right? So new moons are new beginnings and opportunities. So what from the hidden side of life are you becoming aware of and ready to bring forward as a part of you? So pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to, I would say, meditate, okay? Like do spiritual practices to see what is revealed about yourself. And this can be very healing for the Aquarians, this new moon on January 11th. And then the full moon in Leo on January 25th is happening in your 7th house, which is the areas of life that Libra rules. So this is release, letting go, completion, and illumination having to do with your committed relationships, commitments and contracts, and your aesthetic style love life as well. So there can be big releases happening with that. And it's kind of interesting, like what the Capricorns have been going through. It's like the Aquarians are going to start going through it, right?
Yeah.
Things are going to start getting revealed to you. You're going to start having very big life shifts very quickly. Maybe not literally the day Pluto goes into Aquarius, but then we've got this full moon 5 days after Pluto goes into Aquarius in Leo and in your 7th house, your relationships and your commitments. And Uranus, your planetary ruler, is in your 4th house in a trine to Mars in your 12th house. So again, there's a theme of healing, a healing breakthrough occurring at the time of this full moon for you, in the new moon and the full moon. So be honest with yourself about yourself, your own even deep-seated behavioral patterns, because that can be the 12th house as well, and who you surround yourself with and what needs to be let go. So Aquarians, if I can give you any advice, and I'm a moon in Capricorn, so I'm one of those guys, I've been going through Pluto and Capricorn since 2008. If there is toxicity in your life or things that don't serve you, get rid of it. Get rid of it now, because once Pluto goes into your sign, Pluto is not like, Oh, let me
Doesn't joke around.
doesn't joke around. Exactly. Pluto is not going to be like, oh, let me fix that for you. Let me show you this thing over here. And we'll make this a very nice transition. Like Pluto is destruction and dark night of the soul. So if there's things you need to work on it now. Okay, bring it forward now, do the healing work now. And this full moon can reveal those things that maybe need to be worked on as Pluto enters your sign. So Aquarians, very, very powerful month for you. Is there anything I'm missing, Julie?
Wow. Well, let's see what the cards have to say, but I love the reading you just made. And I was feeling very strongly when you said around the new moon, what wants to come up, like what's hidden right now within you that wants to be shown. Because shortly after, we're going to have Pluto showing up in your consciousness, in your first house, in your sign. So I feel like there's a big cleansing for Aquarius, preparing this huge transit, this whole transformation. So let's see what the cards have to say about that, about Aquarians. Okay. Okay. The first card I have is Uranus, change. So expect the unexpected, Aquarians. And this is your ruling planet, so it makes a lot of sense. So I feel like you need to really embrace this energy that you own already, which is being able to be free, sovereign, to be a free spirit, basically. And when you are into this energy, and I'm thinking about the full card in the tarot deck, being ready to embark on a new journey and to leave anything that no longer resonate behind. So that's kind of the full journey in the tarot, but also I feel like Pluto in your sign is going to be similar than that. So a lot of changes. So be flexible, be open to any kind of synchronicity, any kind of opportunity that wants to enter your life that resonates with you, of course. And let's see what other message. Wow. Oh, I love that. So this is the Lemuria is rising. So this is kind of my card for the age of Aquarius, and we are talking about you, Aquarians. So I feel like January is going to be a really important month for you. And it says, returning to our origin, heaven on earth. Wow. So, okay, a lot of you are going to be leaders in what is coming. A lot of you are going to pave the way to really be in that Uranian energy. So Uranus, aside from embracing change and being free-spirited and independent thinker, is also focusing on community, is also focusing on aligning themselves with people that are on a similar vibration, a similar frequency. So I feel that you guys are going to be the leaders of new communities. And that could be a theme that is coming up. If that resonates for you, if you have Aquarius in your chart somewhere and that resonates with you, start building up your community. Start investing even more in people that are like-minded. And I feel like we are slowly building this new world, and you guys are going to be the leaders of that. Wow. Powerful message.
Very cool.
All right. Yeah, Nina V saying amazing. Yeah, let me know if that resonates if you are Aquarius. And then we're going to talk about our very last sign for today, the Pisces. Let me change my charts, and we will be first talking about, of course, this beautiful new moon for you, Pisces. Okay, let me share that. So January 11th, we have this new moon. And for you, Pisces, it's going to fall in your 11th house of community, of big dreams, of social media. So a very positive new moon and important decision-making portal. So, okay, what I'm feeling really strongly for this new moon for Pisces is that it's a really good time to think about long-term planning, long-term goals, long-term dreams. You might have like long-term projects, and like a new dream is coming up for you in a way. So Pisces is all about dreaming. Sometimes you guys live in another dimension at the same time. You're here, but you're not really here. You're very dreamy. So it's the time to make this dream a reality and really think about, is realizing this dream, is it going to get me closer to where I want to be 5-10 years from now? Because Capricorn is all about the long term. So it's a really important portal for Pisces. You might have a new goal, a new project, a new dream around this time, but it's good to really start building this new dream into a reality, because you have Mars being exalted in your 11th house in Capricorn, really pushing you to take action on something. It could be a project that you're starting about work, about online stuff, about social media, maybe an event, because 11th house also rules big groups, events. It could be something that's community related. Maybe you're building a new community. It could be a new communication online. And for some, it could also be a new love interest and you're starting to communicate with that person. And I'm saying that because it's going to make a beautiful aspect with Neptune that's in your sign, in your first house. So being very dreamy, being in that love frequency. And I wanted to talk about also the fact that it's T-squaring the nodes, which are right now in your financial axis. So I'm seeing that for a lot of Pisces, there will potentially be some decisions that need to be made around finances. Where do you want to invest your finances? And you'll have to really think in terms of, what are your goals? What are your long-term goals and dreams? Needing to strategize about your finances for the long term according to your plans. Yes. Important decisions could be made around finances. And I'm really feeling the sextile to your planet. I think it's going to be beautiful, very dreamy for creativity, for love, spirituality. So those aspects are really supporting your goals, your plans. So you're going to feel very dreamy, but it's good also to step into, let's say, putting it down on paper or taking an action in the reality that that is related to your dream or your project. And then let's talk about, lastly, this full moon that's going to be in the sign of Leo. Let me share my chart here. So for Pisces, this full moon in Leo is going to fall in your 6th house of work, day-to-day routine, and health. So for everybody, it is a very intense full moon. I feel like we will probably all have a lot of testing being made to us regarding our integrity, our sense of integrity, our purpose. Specifically for Pisces, I feel like it could be a health concern that could come to an end, or something that's being revealed regarding your health. So those are possibilities. Also, there could be some secrets being revealed at work. Something could be coming to an end regarding your day-to-day, your work. It's like you're saying goodbye to a particular way of doing things on a day-to-day basis and opening up potentially for newness after that. So for a lot of Pisces, it could be the completion of a phase at work, a day-to-day routine. And I'm saying that also because as of January 20th, Pluto will enter your 12th house of this dissolution, of letting go. So for some Pisces, it could be the dissolving of relationships, the dissolving of karma, the dissolution of financial karma. So on a good side, I think a lot of karma that you've been working on will be dissolving around January. So you'll finally be able to liberate yourself, Pisces, from a lot of things that you were working on. And the Pisces archetype is not an easy one. We all know that. So you guys are dealing with a lot of karma in this lifetime, and your goal is to really access a higher frequency, a higher way of being, to really be connected with source, with your spiritual side. So I feel like Pluto in your 12th house can bring a lot of good stuff, in the sense that it's going to help dissolve a lot of previous patterns and karma. that you've already worked on. So that's the good side of things. There's a lot of spiritual transformation ahead for Pisces. And since the 12th house is your house, Pisces, I think you're going to be well equipped to go through that transit of Pluto in your 12th house. Also, this full moon is making a T-square to Jupiter that's in your 3rd house. So I think a lot of Pisces will have important conversations to be had regarding your values, regarding your long-term planning, regarding your work, since this full moon is happening in your 6th house. So there will be a lot of long-term planning, a lot of conversations to be had. Also, there's travel plans for Pisces that are also possible with that Jupiter in the 3rd house. So thinking and planning for long-term trips or even relocation. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes in your day-to-day life, Pisces. And I can't wait to see what the cards have to say about Pisces.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Oh my gosh, we keep getting this card.
Wow, solar flares.
So for the 3rd time, maybe we're going to have some really wild solar flares in January. Interesting. But
this is what I was thinking, because you've got this card, I think, for like 3 or 4 signs, maybe 4. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, what is going on with the solar flares? So activation time, Pisces. And this was the first card, retrograde review. So did you say that the new moon is happening in their 12th house or the 11th house?
New moon is happening in their 11th house and full moon in the 6th.
Right.
But it's also, the sun will be in the 12th house. Yeah.
12th house. So yeah, so there's an element, Pisces, it's really important for you to review something. Okay. Because when this card comes up, the retrograde card, what are we maybe overlooking, not seeing totally clearly? And you guys are absolutely magical creatures. You're the ones that are the most kind of really viscerally connected to the spirit world. So sometimes it takes a little bit more time and effort for you guys to maybe see something clearly, particularly like logistical or technical kind of things. So review work, since that full moon is happening in your 6th house. Review your friends and your group associations as well, with the new moon happening in your 11th. But this feels like nothing that's a big deal. Just make sure you're taking stock of where you've just come from. For some reason, I'm feeling like Pisces are really going through a lot right now and transmuting a lot right now. So just reviewing, maybe journaling is a good thing to be doing at this time, because there's new energies, totally new energies that want to come forward. So sometimes we need to take a look back at the past and go, oh, that happened like that, or no, that doesn't work for me. Why do I do that every day? Sometimes we have to take a little peek back to be able to move forward, to be open to all the blessings and the energies that want to come through. Right?
Definitely.
So I hope that resonates, Pisces.
That makes a lot of sense for me. I'm not a Pisces, but that do make a lot of sense. And Eric Gabriel is saying it's a new solar maximum year. So yeah, hang on to your butts.
Wow.
And like Laura saying, we have been getting solar flares. She means largest solar flares in 6 years was on Christmas Eve. Wow. And she's saying also upgrades for everyone. Yeah.
Yay.
That's kind of what I'm feeling from that card. So that definitely is the card of the month of January. Solar flares were all being activated and upgraded. Thank you so much, Meg, for all those beautiful readings. Jenny's saying love these readings. Yes. So I just wanted to share with you. It's not in my comments anymore. I'm just going to try to find it. So Shauna Mary, please send us an email. You are the winner of our beautiful candle. So we have the magic candle for you from the beautiful Elena. So send us an email on maisonjupiter.com. There's the address here, and we will make sure to send it to you, to the candle's new home. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate it. And also, I wanted to share with you, if you'd like to get even more personalized predictions. Of course, these are general predictions, so we try to connect to you guys' energy as much as we can. But if you'd like to get, let's say, personal questions about events coming up to your life or specific, let's say, themes regarding your birth chart looked at by a wonderful professional and an amazing reader and intuitive, you can book with Meg on MaisonJupiter.com. And of course, don't forget to use Beyond Mystic in one word to get 10% off. Right now, she's booking in March, so perfect for the new start of the astrological year, the equinox, really good time to start new things as well. Oh, thank you, Susan. She's saying this is one of my favorite shows each month. Thank you, ladies, and congratulations on your new home, Julie. Oh, thank you so much, Susan. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this have been quite a ride, but it's really worth it. So thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate it. And Tim is saying the 2024 videos are fantastic. So I'm going to end on that note. If you haven't watched them, it's definitely a must. There are a lot of really good reviews on those videos. We go in depth, about 30 minutes for the whole year for each of the 12 zodiac signs. So there are 12 separate videos for the predictions for 2024. So you can really try to, let's say, predict a lot of things. And if you'd like to know if it's a good year to do this or that, you're going to have really specific predictions for your own zodiac sign. So thank you so much. Meg, words of wisdom for the end before we end this video?
I guess love you guys and expect the unexpected.
Wow. I love that. So have a beautiful month of January, everybody. Thank you so much, Meg. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us with your beautiful energy in the chat. We really love you and appreciate you. And have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you very soon. Love you and au revoir.